Turn this shit up. It's the Pod and Chill Podcast with your host, PREEM.
Q-U-E-E-N. Q-U-E-E-N. Hey, to all my ladies, to all my beautiful queens. Q-U-E-E-N. Hey, to all my ladies, where all my beautiful queens. Q-U-E-E-N. Hey, to all my ladies, to all my beautiful queens. Q-U-E-E-N. Hey, to all my ladies. All my beautiful queens. He say he does this. What? He say he does that. What? He don't do jack. When having your back. Nah. When you need him the most, he doesn't react. On time with this bullshit and still off track. Now it's the time for you to make you better. To know yourself, to grow yourself, to go and get the cheddar. To all my ladies.
Yo, what's good, everybody out there? Welcome back to the Pod and Chill Podcast. This is episode 6, and we have a special event going on right now. So this is part 2 of part 2 of a 3-part series. This episode is dedicated to the women. So I have all women here with me tonight. What I like to say is I like to give a shout out to Renaissance Townsorium for letting us use our facility once again.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Right. Somebody tripped over something, y'all. Y'all be fine.
She had one job. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You know
I do not understand the assignment.
Well, like I said, shout out to Renaissance Townsorium. The address is 430 North Prince Frederick, Maryland, 20678. That's right, Renaissance Townsorium. That's the only barbershop that you have to say it in Braille to understand. Ladies, how are you tonight?
Awesome.
Good.
Sounds good. Shout out to the ladies.
Raise the roof.
I just had to test it. I just had to test it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ladies here. We're missing one right now.
Very good, Mr. Man.
But I'm gonna go around the room. You know, we have one reoccurring guest right now. Well, 3 reoccurring guests right now. So I'm gonna start with my left. Over here, we got Shane back in the building.
What's good?
What's good?
How y'all doing out there?
Shout out to you. I'm gonna bring the horn down just a little bit. Shout out to you. Beside her, we got my lovely queen, Shima.
How y'all doing?
Really? You gonna be that quiet?
Hey, everyone.
You ain't getting the horn if you're gonna be that quiet.
Hi.
Oh, she's so shy.
So shy.
Next to her, we have my sister-in-law, Cheree.
Hello.
You know what, Cheree? I ain't got time, okay?
What I do?
You gotta be louder than that. You from Baltimore. Avenue. You from Baltimore. I ain't got time for that craziness today, okay? I want you to be a little bit louder, all right?
You want the crazy?
I do want the crazy. That's why you're here.
How y'all doing? How
Yeah,
y'all
I'm
doing out
saying.
there?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got some shit coming up on my damn. Hold on real quick. Anyways, like I was saying, next we got Pynk Diamond in the building.
Hey, everybody.
I love it. Diamond's our man's best friend.
That's all we getting?
Hey, y'all.
That's what I'm talking about. Next, after that, we got Mane Event back in the building.
Hey, peace, love, and hair grease, y'all.
And finally, we have my blood, Peaches.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, now just to let everybody know out there, so this will be my first podcast while I'm pre-recording the video as well. And shout out to Mind of Mark Productions, LLC. They specialize in videography, photography, artist management, and consultation. If you want their number, it is 240-601-8105. Once again, Mind of Mark Productions, LLC. The number is 240-601-8105. Also, another announcement at the Renaissance Townsorium, they are also doing a canned food drive. And so, you know, if you ever drive past, you stop by, make sure you bring a can of corn, something, green beans. Some people like to eat, you know, people out there starving, they can't afford it. So, you know, you got it, you give back. So, shout out to that. All right, ladies.
Hey.
Y'all ready to get into it?
Let's
go.
do
Get
it.
to it.
All right. What y'all want to talk about first?
You tell
You
us.
start out, bro.
Let's get it.
Females. females, especially the ones in America. Tell me something.
Females?
Ladies.
Thank you.
Queens.
Thank you.
Divas.
Yes, sir.
Goddesses.
All of that.
Ah.
All of that.
Period. Poo.
Tell me something. Like, today in America, you ladies, you face very, very difficult obstacles, especially for black women. Like, from your voice, from your mouth, how is it still in the United States for black women?
That is a very loaded question.
Loaded?
Very loaded question. So, in my experience, just speaking on me, don't want to speak for anyone else, but there comes a point in your life where you make a decision for yourself. Do you want to fit the status quo of certain things, or do you want to make something better? But then when you decide to do that something better, you have your own people who look like you, who grew up with you, who spoke to you, who all of a sudden don't want to speak to you anymore because you're doing things to make yourself better, because you are excelling at things that you are naturally blessed to do. And you're not singing your own praises, other people are singing those praises, and you have people that you thought were going to ride for you no matter what, who all of a sudden hate your guts. you have no idea why. And then on top of that, women aren't allowed, black women are not allowed to be weak, to be tired, to be vulnerable. If there is a frustration that we are voicing, it's no longer frustration. It's immediately a label of, you are an angry black woman, you're mad, you're entitled, where do you get off? But at the same time, you're raising kids. Sometimes you're raising men, boyfriends, husbands, situationships from broken homes. So you're trying to heal them while working on yourself because you may be a product of a broken home, or there's so many things that, we don't like. Nobody wants a pat on the back and a parade, but a thank you would be nice. Thank you for putting up with all of your stuff, but still finding time to put up with our stuff, still finding time to march, still finding time to protest, still finding time to grease our scalp, still finding time to help us study, still finding time to even stroke our egos, because black women are strong, unapologetically so. However, when we find a man we feel can comfortably match our strong, we know how to pull back and be submissive. But you have to prove that first. You don't get submission just because of your genitalia. So, black women are in a position where we don't have the luxury of presenting ourselves as weak. We just don't have it. So that can be intimidating for a lot of people, which, fine. If you can't handle it, go ahead and eliminate yourself. Go ahead. That's fine.
I dig it.
But every single black woman has that soft spot and that soft point. But we also get tired, and we shouldn't have to apologize for being tired. We shouldn't have to apologize for saying no, not today, not right now. So
I like that. It's very well put. I gotta give you that one.
Yes, queen.
I dig it.
thank you, ladies.
You literally broke everything down in less than 10 minutes. That's amazing.
I know,
Opinion.
really.
Anybody have anything to back up on that? Or to piggyback on that?
No, it was spoken.
These in the building.
Cool.
So we got one person tardy to the party, but it's okay.
Hello.
Hey. So we just talked about, we're still talking about being a black woman in America and like the obstacles that you guys face and the things that you have to put up with. Ms. Dyana, do you have anything that you want to say about that, or any thoughts in your mind that you have in regards to this subject?
I'm on the spot.
Put you on the spot? Will we get back to you?
Yes.
Okay. Pynk Diamond, what you got?
I mean, what Peaches said
I know for me personally, I'm very aware of stereotypes, and I used to always try to defeat those. Like, I'm not what they say we're supposed to be. So I always try to strive to be better than the stereotype.
Okay.
So I push myself in a lot of areas not to become one of the statistics. Unfortunately, sometimes within our community is already set before us, but some of the things that I felt like I could change, I made sure I went hard at that.
Well put. I dig it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Miss Diana.
I was trying to look for the correct words to say. I already knew what I was thinking.
That's cool. If you fuck up, we can edit it.
I guess, I mean, obviously, right, they're like the barriers that we automatically have. There's the system, there's this, there's all of these things. They're definitely there. I don't care.
Gotcha.
I personally don't feel like I face too many obstacles that's already been put before me because I don't care. I'm not living up to anybody's standards. I walked away from a very good job. I don't care. I don't play in this society. I don't play by their rules. This shit is all an illusion to me. So this is that with the reality that's out there, that's not my reality.
Right.
So I don't care. I don't care what they're doing. I don't even care what other black people are doing. Like, I don't care. I just live in my own world. I create what I want. I figure out what it is I want in my reality, what I don't want. I reevaluate my space consistently, and I just live my life the way I want to.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. There's definitely wrong with that. Just take care of you and yours is basically what I'm hearing.
Pretty much.
Right.
Which I feel like a lot of women, men too, anyone should take on that aspect, you know. Realize that it is your choice. You have a choice of who you want in your space, or how you want to handle certain situations, and just go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a statistic to know what's going on in society.
Well, you wanna know what's weird? Like, I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm on the back half of my 30s. You know, I went to college, got a master's, working on my second master's. Like, to me, like, I'm killing it, but, you know, you get family members and you get friends, and when you gonna have babies? When you gonna, like, a child is my crowning achievement as a woman, as a black woman. Like, sure, if it comes and if it happens, I wouldn't mind having a kid or two. But that's not my goal. My goal is when I pass, for whatever reason, nobody has to do a fish fry or a cookout or a GoFundMe to pay for my arrangements. And unfortunately, a lot of us, women, men, whatever, black people as a whole, that's where we are. We put a lot of stock financially in things that don't matter. When you can, a cup of Starbucks a day will literally pay for, you know, things that happen when you go on. But it's very frustrating that, you know, the educational achievements, not that I want the high fives or the celebrations, but don't make my crowning achievement pushing out a kid. You know, that's very frustrating for me as a woman, as a black woman. And then to be told, you know, oh, well, you don't have to have a husband. You can just have a baby. Like, why would I purposefully bring a next generation into a situation that's already broken?
Because that's what they're used to.
Exactly.
But that's why I say I don't care what other black people are doing. I literally don't care.
Right.
Like, I don't care what anybody is doing because everyone's going to always have an opinion. You can, if you consistently and constantly go to live up to what someone else's standards are, you will never live your own life.
Period.
So I don't care. If you're telling me to have a baby, I don't care. I don't care what you're telling me to do. It does not bother me because I crown myself. You cannot wait for anybody to crown me.
That's it. But it's still frustrating that people still see a child or motherhood as your crowning achievement as a woman. Never mind, you know, multiple degrees, owning a business, making six figures, going on vacation 4, 5, 6 times a year and getting that quote, must be nice. You know, never mind all of those things. All of those things are negated. Just have a baby. Like, I'm sorry, what?
I don't see how people can push having a baby onto anyone. because that's not an easy job.
Stay out of my uterus.
Yeah,
Period. Like,
exactly.
Stay out of it.
yes.
Being a parent, especially a woman having a child, that is not easy, because when you are with someone, that person can, a lot of men, not all, but a lot of men can choose whether they want to stay or,
Right.
or to go based on they feel like this is not for them or they looking for something better. As a woman, you have to be a mother regardless. You have to have your child regardless. I know there's some deadbeat women out there
Yes.
who don't.
Yes.
But for the most part, as a woman, you have to have your child. And that's not an easy role for anyone to try to push that on anyone. Especially if you are not ready, do not do it. Take your time. It is nice to have, to be married first. Having that single, it's not easy. It's not easy. So someone who's telling you, hey, you don't have to have a husband, don't listen to that. Because that's just something that a lot of us have been used to. It doesn't make it the right way. Not being married makes it, well, if you have the right man, that's the way you would want to go, being married
Right.
first, but it doesn't always work like that. It didn't work for me like that. It didn't happen like that. It would have been nice, but it didn't. But I still had to take care of my business as a woman and as a mother. So don't let anyone push motherhood or parenthood on anyone, men and female.
But even having a husband doesn't guarantee that man is going to stay.
Right.
Yeah, true that.
But it's about the kids.
Right.
For
It's
sure.
not even about whether he's staying, she's staying. It's all having kids should be totally about the kids. It should be about making sure you are, even if you're married, you're parenting together. So making sure that person that you parent with is going to make sure you have a conducive environment for your kids. It's everything about parenting is geared for the kids. So don't go, when you're looking for a partner, you shouldn't necessarily be looking for a partnership for you. If
Right.
you're going to see that person as a parent, you look for those qualities as well. You can't just look for one and not look for the other, and then get the other and then be like, well, he was a wonderful husband, but oh my God, how isn't he a good father? Because you didn't look at him as a father. You just looked at him as an intimate spouse for yourself. And so you're going to get surprises all the way around the board if you handle it like that, just looking for a partner for yourself.
That is so true.
That's a fact. Damn, I got geeks here for that one. But when you ladies talking about like children and things like that, something else came to mind as well. About if you for example had a one night stand, and not even just a one night stand, but you didn't want to get pregnant, but all of a sudden you got pregnant. Now there's a lot of people, men and women, that agree and disagree about it's the woman's choice to have the baby or not have the baby. And as far as like the men, they're like, well, I'm not ready. What do you guys think about that? Yeah.
Women tell me
So-
what I have
So
to say about that.
it's in my opinion it's complicated, but it's not complicated.
It's touchy, but it's not complicated.
Right.
If you're not ready for children, this is 2021. There's spermicide, there's condoms, there's
Right.
Plan B.
Right.
Like, there's no excuses for me. So, if you weren't ready, then you should have strapped up, wrapped up, and 2 pumps of spermicide and made sure, that wasn't a thing. So, once the baby is there,
So you're against abortions?
well, situationally. Because, I feel like in extreme cases like incest and rape and things like that, like, I'm not going to be the one to force somebody to carry something that they absolutely hate and that reminds them every day of their assault and trauma for 9.5 to 10 months. That's just inhumane. However, abortion is not an alternative to birth control.
No, it's not.
Your uterus is not a grave site. If you can't handle not getting pregnant, stop having sex. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 element of P abortions is redonkulous. Period. If you can't make him put on a condom, if you can't use a female condom, I will show you how to insert one, sis. It's not difficult. If you don't want to take birth control and you don't want to do what you have to do, stop having sex. Stop going for the pleasure and avoiding the responsibility.
Sounds good to me.
So I know you said that people not gonna agree with what you have to say.
I say a lot of women don't like what I have to say.
And that's free. You can freely talk
For
about
me,
whatever
it's
you wanna say.
like, okay, directly to your question about whose choice is it, right? Everyone has their choice. No one gets more of a choice than another. Just because one person's choice is in alignment with the other does not make anyone right and wrong. Because if you write pros, and I also mean him walking away and deciding he don't want to be a father. That's what I mean. If a man tells you, I do not want this kid, and you say, I do, remember the I part. Don't be sad and somber and talking about, oh, I'm tired, I didn't do this by myself, but you had a choice. Don't run chasing behind somebody, trying to force a child on them that they don't want. All of that. You have a choice. You have a choice.
Right.
But understand that with every choice, there's a consequence.
Right.
So it's everybody's choice. If the woman decides she wants to keep it, she can. That's her choice. If she decides she wants to abort, that's her choice. I am 100% pro-choice. Nobody has a right to say, you can get an abortion if this is my body, mind your business, I can do what I want with it, you deal with your transgressions when you get to the gate, and I'll deal with mine. So I believe everyone, has a right to their own choice. People do many things for many reasons, and it is none of anybody's business to play in anybody's flaws.
Right.
Because everyone has their own. But everybody has a choice. He can decide to be there. He can decide to not be there. Everybody has a choice.
Right.
So sex is a sensitive and sacred thing, and people should just start seeing it as such.
Let's start there. Let's start
People
there.
should start
Yes.
seeing it as such.
Yes.
But it's sex everywhere.
Let's start
Sex
there.
is
All
even in
around
the
this
food.
motherfucker.
Like, it's so many sex hormones in the food.
Yes.
So yes, we can say all of that, but the reality is there's a bigger picture at hand that kind of counteracts the whole let's be abstinent thing. You can be very strong. You can do it. But the reality is it doesn't happen a lot. So I don't know. Just be careful with who you choose. Let sex be a special thing
Because
from
them
the
soul
get.
ties are real.
Yes.
So
And
let me,
yes.
let me say this. So with that being said, about everybody having a choice. So that woman decides to have the kid, but the guy doesn't, right? Does she have the right, or does she have the say to call him a deadbeat father?
Again, what's right and what's wrong? He chose not to be there. That's his choice, and I guess this is right. Doesn't make him any less of a deadbeat.
Right.
He still had sex, like she had sex. He knew all the consequences
Right.
too. No one gets to say, you don't get to have sex with somebody unprotected, ejaculate in them, and then say, you trapped me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You don't get to say that. You don't get to do that. So, and that's what a lot of men consider entrapment. Them having sex with someone, that person getting pregnant. Now, some women do entrapment, but I'm talking about a lot of men consider you not wanting to have a child trapped.
Right.
You're not trapped. That's not trapped. Somebody going the extra mile, somebody making it premeditation.
Poking
That's
holes in
That's
turkey
trapped.
basters,
But
yes.
That's
it's not
fucking
trapped
psychotic.
when you was just having sex. And also, him saying that he doesn't want that child and choosing not to be there physically doesn't exempt him from child support.
Boom.
Does not.
Right.
That's the reality. You
Right.
don't have to be there. You don't. You
But you
don't
gotta
have
pay
to.
some-
But you
you
gotta
gotta
pay,
contribute.
bruh. Yeah,
Okay.
we had fun together. We gotta clean up for this party 18 years.
That's right.
We gotta pay for this.
That's right.
You know, so he can choose, I'm not gonna be there physically. Okay, but this still will be, this is your consequence. This is your end of the deal. When you have sex with someone, it is a verbal contract.
He still has a responsibility.
It's just there. It ain't even verbal. It's
all
just
encompassing.
it's
Yes.
a contract. It's an automatic contract that anything can happen in this moment, and I'm game. That's what you saying.
That's right.
Anything can happen in this moment, and I'm game.
Okay.
I
dig
love
it.
that. I absolutely love that. Yes, ma'am.
What's that?
Dig it. Everybody agrees, it sounds like.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know what's crazy? One of my topics tonight was child support too. So I mean, we can go ahead and swing into that since you brought it up. Child support. I'm a voluntold member, to let you guys know. So they my kids. I love my babies. The big ass chunk of money. But hey, I knew what I was getting myself into. So it is what it is. But as far as child support, when do you feel that it's necessary?
Always.
Always.
And it doesn't have to be court ordered. Like I do feel like the bulk of the complaints from men on child support literally are the $1.25 a month and the paying just to stay out of jail and your $30,000-$40,000 in arrears because you're not taking care of your business. That is the bulk, in my experience, of the people who complain. I know people who pay $500-$600 a month in child support on time every month and have no issues with it and get their kids as often as they want. My issue comes in with women. We have a kid, we're together, things don't work out, you move on, now I'm pissed off, now I'm putting you on child support because you moved on.
Being bitter?
Now, that is a bitter baby mama.
Okay.
This is Peaches saying, if you are doing that, you are a bitter baby mama. Period. Come see about me if you have a problem with it. However, this man has been doing for his child regardless, without a court order, without any issues. Now you take him to court, you try to drag him through the mud. He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, knowing full well that this man does all he can and more for his kids or kid. Now, on the other side of that, you have the man who's like, I didn't want her to have no baby. Well, if you didn't want her to have a baby, then you should have wore a condom. And you should have used spermicide. So we're beyond that point. The baby is here. The child should not suffer the mistakes of the parent.
Yeah, it's
Ever.
a lot of armor.
Ever. Because that is a heavy burden to bear as a child. Trying to figure out, A, why your daddy's not around. B, why you can't get certain things because everything is solely reliant on mommy's finances. And when you don't come through every month, that matters to a child. Like people say, oh, well, I'm paying for my child. I'm not paying for electricity. Don't your child live inside? Do they or do they not need electricity? And if you feel some type of way about your child living with mom and mom using $100 to pay the light bill, take your child in the house. Take them for 1 month and see exactly how much you spend on your child in 1 month without any assistance from mom. Then come holler at me, bruh. Until then, pay your child support and shut the hell up. And again, you can come see me too. We can have a very long conversation. It's not a problem. But I do feel like the majority of men take care of their children without child support. However, the highlighted portions are always going to be the negatives. The negatives are always going to stand out, no matter how sparse, above the positive, because that's the narrative that people want to push, right? So you're not going to see the dads on Mother's Day cooking dinner with their child and, mom and dad aren't together, but he still comes over and cooks with the kids anyway and decorates the house, makes it real cute and pretty. You're not going to see that. You're going to see well, she don't do nothing for me for Father's Day, so I ain't doing nothing for her for Mother's Day. And that's like maybe 2 out of the 100 people that we're talking about. So just to circle back, child support is necessary, whether court ordered or not. It's necessary from both parents.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually dealing with a bitter baby mama. My bitter baby mama. He's the father of my child, but he acts like a bitter baby mama, And he put himself on child support, not him actually going to the court and saying, I want me child support. But he was so bitter that he kept taking me to court. He kept sending me all types of documents to take me to court. He was going to the court office and saying, he was making some excuses about me and my oldest son, only because he did not want me moving on. And he would tell me you know, you don't want to be with me no more. You don't want us. You're doing all this, and this is going to affect our son, and my son needs us both together in order to, for him to be successful in life. But he was so toxic, I had to leave that situation alone. But he was doing everything in his power to try to destroy me. Why? It's so many things. It's crazy. But we had to go to court, and it didn't work in his favor. And so we had to do, of course, who's the child going to be with. We had the guardian Liam come to our house, his house. He was living with his mother.
Ooh.
And of course, that automatically was, okay, he has no stable place to be.
Shit.
And
Man
so
in Black
my son,
came, everybody got MK.
and so my son, of course, lived with me because I have a home for him. He has his own room, you know, all that. And it came to where, okay, well, he's going to be living with the mother. Now, child support. That's what the judge did, you know? And he put himself on it. You know, that's just what happened. Now, you would think, first of all, it's not even 500. But you would think that I am hitting this man's head. He is bitter. He is mean. I am all types of bitches. I think I've been called every bitch in the book. It doesn't faze me anymore. I just be like, yeah, I know I'm a bitch. Yes, I know. And it's just so. Some people just do it to themselves. It's not necessary. Even we speaking about him just giving me a certain amount each month, and I was on my way. I don't care. But he kept being bitter, and it just bit him in the ass. And now I'm like the worst mother. Not the worst mother. I'm the worst woman ever.
For moving on.
Yes.
Thanks.
From moving on. Yes.
I have a question. What about to those ladies, to those women that get child support already, but they come back and say it's not enough? What do you say to those ladies?
So is it really not
It's,
enough?
I would say, is it really not enough?
Let me give
Let
an example. If the dad is paying $1,200 a month in child support,
Where is he working?
I mean, it's
The FBI.
if the dad is paying over $1,000 in child support, right, and the mom comes, the kid's mother comes and says that's not enough, you got to help me out. Like, what do you say to women that's getting that type
Make it
of
enough.
cash
Thank
a month?
you. Because I
Make
have
it
dealt
enough.
with that too.
I mean,
Make
it
it-
depends.
What was the response?
Make it enough.
Okay.
I think
'Cause
it all depends.
I
I think
feel-
it all depends.
Because
I feel like
It's about money factors on many different things. I have been a single mother for my daughter's about to be 14. My oldest is about to be 14. It all depends. Kids are very expensive.
yes.
When you don't have your kids every day, you do not understand how expensive they are. And when you look at it, you see a big lump sum coming out, but that is going between two people. What are those two people doing? So those expenses can be easily broken down. And also too, time gets factored in, because if I have these children more than you do, I want more money. That's just the bottom line.
But
If
that's
I
what
have
they
these,
together.
huh?
When you go to court, they're looking at time.
They are looking at time. So if you do more time, you will pay less. So if you have a issue with time, get them more during the week.
Get your babies
So
more.
what if
Doing more during the weekend. That you have to put in more time if you want your expenses to get taken down. It's just a harsh reality.
So if the court has you already went to court, and the judge has made his decision, this is what you're going to get. You're going to have the kids every other week. You're going to have them majority of the time. This is where you work. This is where she works. All right, give me your expenses. Give me your funds. And then he makes the calculations on that. So he's already putting the whole, the time, your funds, and everything. He's made the decision on how much money that person should be taking out of his check. Once that is given, I don't feel like there should be way more than that. It depends. I don't think.
No, see,
$500 is a lot of money.
Yeah, but
That's a lot of
and
money.
then especially if you, as a mother, you making a nice amount of money. What are you doing?
But I feel like it's circumstantial though, because let's
Right, and that's
say
what I'm
I
saying,
have
it's
like 2 or 3
circumstantial.
kids, I'm getting $1,800 a month split between those 3 kids. You know, I don't have kids, so let's just play with the numbers. But let's say Jimmy wants to do football. His equipment is going to be
And that's what I'm
$125 on top of everything else we have to pay. Annabelle, yes, I said Annabelle, don't judge me. Annabelle wants to do ballet. So she's got to buy the gear, the shoe. Well, she wants to do dance class, so she's got to buy ballet uniform. She's got to buy jazz, tap, all these other things. And then Susie Q, she wants to be, you know, in the STEM program. So we got to buy telescopes, microscopes, beakers, Bunsen burners, all these other things that are not accounted for in that original amount when we went to court and they said, this is what I give you per month. I don't feel like, as the mother of your child and as your, you know, your kids, if they want to do this thing, we need to sit down as adults, split this thing down the middle and make sure it happens.
Have a
So
conversation.
you have to have a conversation.
Yes.
Have a conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, have a conversation
But
as well, not just that.
Just
But saying
not
it's
just
not
like,
enough.
I need more money.
Right. You need to tell
And
me
then
why.
you need
Have
to
a
speak
conversation.
to
For
that,
sure.
that other individual and say, this is what our child wants to do beforehand.
Yes.
What do you think? Here's are the experiences that we're going to have to come together with. How do you feel about this?
Right.
And that's
Because
if
for
you can.
you, yeah.
If you can have a conversation.
That's if you
Because
can.
some people you can't have a conversation with.
Yeah, it
But
has
if
to
you're
go through
able
court,
to have
right?
a conversation with the other parent, then do that.
Because you shouldn't even be in court.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody should
Okay.
be in child support. Child
Right.
support is a system. It is a whole system, and it is designed against us, literally.
Absolutely.
You should not have the white man in your business. And I'm
Okay.
being dead serious.
Okay.
You should not have them in our business. We should not have them in our finances. And we should not have them in our households at all. So if y'all can avoid court, that's really what it should be about.
Right.
And again, you gotta know who you lay down with
Yes.
before you do it. You gotta talk about parenting. You gotta talk about those things. Because if you know who someone is before you have children with them, even if that relationship fail, I promise y'all will flourish as parents and be good friends. If you know that person before you have kids with them or before you marry them, whatever, if you actually know them, I promise you, y'all will be okay. You will be. So that's really what it goes down to. Because I don't want to stand in front of a judge and him telling me what I'm gonna get for my kids, what I'm gonna do.
Literally,
I
what
don't
your
need you in my
child is
business.
worth.
You don't need to tell me.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me, and I don't want you telling this black man what to do. I don't want you telling none of us what to do. Mind your business. And that's just how I feel. So yes, you should be staying out of it altogether, but for the sake of child support, like you said, it's all calculated in. So if you put more time in, the price will drop. So it's just it is based on their system, but it's also based on circumstantial. So you shouldn't be getting a whole lot of money. And if you are getting that type of money, your lifestyle should reflect it. The kids' lifestyles should reflect it. You should be reflective of your kids. And if it's not, then that's a problem. But other than that, it's just like that's reality. Because I know this for a fact. I have many friends that do many different things. I have many cousins do many different things. When that time is split in half or split more, there is really no money being exchanged even between them. But so it's just based on, really, honestly, it's based on time. That's really what it's based on. Because when that time is being split, no parent can get anything. Well, I've seen like my cousin get $75 a month based on a couple of days that she had her daughter prior to the end of the summer. Then the whole summer her daughter leaves. So her daughter leaves about 92 days, I think, out of the year. So, based on that, and then the kids are on the father's health insurance. So, all of that just lowers it. So it just goes back to you better know who you're sleeping with. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I say the child support laws, coming from a man, I feel like sometimes it's a pretty tricky situation. For example, like, when my ex-wife, she had went to Iraq, and I had my children that whole time. I still had to pay child support.
Yeah.
And it was a bad part of my life where I was still trying to get myself together. I had lost my job, all that stuff, and I tried my ass off, just to make up for that. Turns out I was $5,000 in arrears. But the thing about it is, I had to go to court, and I explained to the court what was going on, and they didn't even know she deployed.
See.
And the kids was with us.
The bad part about that is, even if they knew, I still would have had to pay.
Oh, that's not.
But-
She gotta
Which
give
is
it-
crazy.
It's
Give
fucked
it back
up. But
to you.
fortunately, my ex-wife, she was like, well, I was deployed. I'm sorry I didn't tell, blah, blah, blah. He had the kids the whole time. And yeah, she was sending some money back. But the good part about that was they just cleaned the $5,000 debt that I had and refunded me a check.
Good.
Well, that's awesome.
I was like,
Very well
I
deserved.
was like, man, I must be the first black man in history to get a check refunded for child support. Shit, I went out for drinks that day. Fuck that. But yeah, I mean,
Yes.
child support can be a very, very, very tricky situation.
I
so.
mean,
Especially when people abuse it.
Yeah, my
And
boyfriend
that's
was
what it
paying
comes down
$800 a month for his one child, and the order was supposed to be every other weekend. She got her $800 a month, but she didn't adhere to the every other weekend. He was getting him all during the week. He was getting him any time he came based on his schedule, and it was consistently and a lot. And he was over there for weeks. He never took her back to court. Never did anything. She could have easily been an honest woman. She could have been. She had no business even putting him on child support. It was just all the payday for her. So everybody is just.
And my thing is too, for the men out there, if you're going through something that you can't afford, but you trying your ass off, try to pay that child support, speak up. Don't say anything until it's too late. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm pretty sure, but if the woman is understandable, she's like, okay, I get it, but you gotta get your shit together. That's basically how I see it. Like you said at the beginning, I mean, it's your responsibility. You have a child, it's your responsibility. I know you're going through something. I hope you get through it, but speak up. If you can't afford the payments right now, speak up. Say something.
Say something.
Because if you don't say anything, they can take your passport. That shit will go on your credit. Like, you can't go anywhere.
Your license.
Your
License, all of that.
It's a lot. You can go to jail.
Yeah.
I was in court and I seen a dude. He just got out of he got out of prison. He was in prison for 12 years and he was $80,000 in the red.
Dang, he going back.
Man, I almost cried for him.
That's disgusting.
That's
But it's
insane.
crazy,
That's
And the bad part about it was I listened to a story and he was like, I was an aircraft mechanic. They laid me off. I couldn't find work, so the only thing I had was selling drugs. He was selling coke, heroin, pills, all that. He got caught and went to prison. And how can you pay child support if you're in prison? So,
The thing that makes me so angry about this because they don't care about the kids. They just want your child support money to filter in their system and go in their bank. They feeling like you owe me money.
Right.
They don't even care about the kids. The system cares about the system.
Yep.
Yeah, shit is crazy.
Facts.
That system is very,
And
very,
that's too
very
long.
That's crazy.
I feel like that's too long.
Yeah, that's
But they just throwing they throwing you in jail for that long for some selling drugs.
Yeah, he was
Now, granted, disclaimer: we are not endorsing selling drugs.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen.
They trying to make an example
We are
out of every
absolutely
damn body.
not.
That's ridiculous.
I do not sell the crack. Yeah. Child support can be a very, very, very tricky situation. Sometimes, not all the time. Depends on the situation. But before we move on to anything, I did find this article. I'm going to revert back real quick about like black women in America. I did find this interesting article with black women in regards to corporate America. Let me read this off real quick. So the title is Study Highlights Barriers Black Women Face in Corporate America. This is courtesy of philanthropynewsdigest.org. So it says black women in corporate America are less likely than their male or white colleagues to be promoted or to receive the support and access they need to advance despite being just as ambitious, a report from the Lean Foundation finds. Based primarily on data found from Lean and McKinsey and Company's annual Women in the Workplace study, the report, The State of Black Women in Corporate America 2020. found that African American women who seek promotions at the same rate as white men are only 58% as likely to be promoted to a managerial position, and only 64% as likely to be hired into such positions. At a disadvantage from the beginning of their careers, black women see the representation gap continue to widen, end up accounting for only 1.6% of vice presidents and 1.4% of C-suite executives, while the white man hold 57% and 68% of those positions.
You had to research this?
Okay.
I mean,
I researched it for the numbers.
no.
No, they.
For the article.
Oh, they.
They.
Because
You can walk in any office building and see
you
that.
could have just told them that. That you didn't have to research that.
Out of all the jobs I had, I probably seen one vice president that was a black woman, and I had plenty of damn jobs. But, I mean, they need more y'all in that joint.
Yeah, they definitely do, and it is rare to see somebody
Yep.
of color, a woman of color, at the top. You know, so when I do see it, I'm like, oh wow, I'm so proud.
But even
Yes.
when we do, they still pay us less. Find a way to
Yes.
get us less.
And the
Yes.
harassment
So-
that the women receive. So this is my thing.
Speak on the system.
We need to stop playing this game with those folks. You're going to let your neighbor knock on your door and say, hey, I just invented a hopscotch game. Come play it with me. You don't know the rules, because whatever he wants the rules to be, he will change them. If you get closer, he will change them. And it's his game, and he invented it, so he can do it, because you don't even know how to get in there and be a part to change the rules, because it is his game. He has the patent to it, he has the copyrights to it, he has everything, and it is his game, and he never played it for you to win it. So why are we continuously putting ourselves into their environment and wanting to be treated better? Why do we want a seat at their table so badly? It is a disease to me. And it is a mental illness. It is a sickness. Acceptance is a sickness. Black people wanting to be accepted by society is a sickness. It is weird to me, and we need to stop. It is making us sick. We are neglecting our households. We are neglecting ourselves. We are getting nowhere. There are a couple of us getting paid more, and it looks a little better, and we learned how to grind a little more, and we are not there, and we will never be there as long as you play in their game. I hate when I see an article that says, oh, the first black woman at Yale, yay, and everyone's so excited, and I'm like, that's disgusting. You as a black person think you made it because you got accepted to a PWI. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Why are you still calling yourself a proud black person? Why? Because really, you're only striving for what they put out. That's what you're not looking to be proud of who you are. Because if you was looking to be proud of who you are, you would never touch that game. You are looking for them to accept you. You are what I will see. I have been in a car with my friends, pull up next to an elderly couple. If they black, they'll keep their music up. They loud, they'll be like, oh, let me turn down my music because these white. What the fuck? You respect them more than you respect you.
You can damn podcast. You ain't gotta.
Oh no, I wasn't. I just didn't even
okay.
say it. Like, you respect them more than you respect you. You
Right.
come when I come into my grandmother's community, Northwest DC. I turn down my radio. When I go through Montgomery County, I blast thought shit. Fuck them. I don't care. I don't care. I respect my people first. And I definitely respect me first. And I'm not going nowhere into no office in knowing that I'm going to receive abuse
knowing that I'm going to be disrespected, that I'm not going to be looked at the same, that they're going to have office parties in their houses that they don't invite me to, that I'll get invited to one part but they'll get invited to the other part. I know all of the treatment that I'm getting. I know that I'm going to bust my ass. I know I'm going to be micromanaged. I know that everything that I do is going to be like, it's going to be like cute. Right? I know that I'm always going to be seen as the token. I know that I'm this. I know all of these things. What the fuck? Who are you trying to prove a point to?
Right.
Who are you trying to prove a point to? Them.
Who are you trying to seek validation from?
Them.
Right.
Them.
Question.
So that's really what I read. When I read stories about the black women in the office, I don't feel sorry for them. And my whole family pretty much like works in, I'm like the rebel of everywhere. So my whole family like works in like the corporate, even when I worked in, I mean it wasn't corporate, but you know, it's the medical field, the hospital. Like I always got stars from patient relations. My employee relations always fucking sucked. I am not a good worker. It's the bottom line.
The honesty.
She is, as someone who was working with her at the hospital, she's a great worker. She's a great worker, especially with the patients. She was on top of it. Like, she's one of the top knowledgeable person that was there. One of the top. But when it came to co-workers,
I don't play well with others.
She was still sweet. She was still good. But she put people in their place quick, whether it was employee or management. Like, she was
Because I don't carry
that's how
around
you
that
have to be.
stereotype with that complex. I don't carry like that. I don't care about being the loud black girl. Bitch, I am loud. I'm lit. What do you mean? And I'm still smart.
Yes,
and I'm still
right.
all of those things. And I don't have no points to prove to you. So I'm okay with being me.
Now I have two questions. I'm gonna revert to something. Well, not revert, but I'm gonna switch something up real quick. SANE, you being a part of, you know, the LGBTQ community, do you see something from a different perspective? Do you get the same treatment from, you know, as a straight woman would?
Nope.
Or is it different?
It's different.
And if so, can you please explain?
Like I have to be. I'm professional anyway, but I have to be more professional. I have to talk with a, you know, hi, and a little bit more, you know, I mean, a little assertive when I, you know, when I talk, when I come into their presence. Even when I dress, you know, I dress like, you know, young man, but you know what I'm saying. But like, I definitely have to just be on my P's and Q's. Like, they can say anything they want to say, anything. They can sexual harass the shit out of you. You can't say nothing too much because they were like, oh, likely. Speaking of this happened to me. I want to say maybe 3 years ago at my job. It was like, so I work in the hospital, of course, and we was dressing up as Halloween. So I dressed up like a little cowgirl. I had my cowboy hat and whatever. My own, I'm gonna say it, I don't care. My president, the CEO, came up to me, was like, "Oh, so are you a cowboy or a cowgirl?" Literally,
Completely inappropriate.
came to me, and I was like, "What? How? Like, I just have a cowboy hat. What is that? What does that mean? Like, why are you coming to me, talking to me like this?" "Oh, I just wanted to know."
So you gotta have a
You know what I'm saying?
I would've told
So,
him I
like-
bet you would want to ride.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, technically, I'm a girl. I'm still female.
Right.
Just cause like I like, you know, the same does not mean that I am trying to be, you know, more. I was like, I'm a cowgirl. Oh, I would just wanted to know, cause like, you know, cause you're, you know, you remember that? Cause like I was so pissed, cause I was like, I'm a cuss. How the fuck are you gonna come to me when I'm actually working to fucking stop me and ask me what I am?
Especially with a line of work.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Inappropriate.
And then when I said something to him, like I was like, so like I said, how would it feel if I say, are you being a dick today? I said it just like that. He was, oh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to go. And he was like, please don't report me. Like I literally was like, oh, like
I was just
yes.
about to ask you.
Yeah.
I am a Karen.
It was just
My
like-
best friend know I am am the biggest black Karen. I will report your ass. I am an emailing motherfucker. I see mayor offices. I find CEOs.
Yeah.
Bitch, I will find your mama's personal email.
Listen.
I hire PIs. I am the biggest fucking Karen. And I will
Yes.
the biggest deal.
Unapologetic
I will
yourself.
cry. Oh God, I will go to church and have my fucking pastor. And I'm not even Christian. I will go to
Light
church.
the candles.
I will go to church and have
Come
my
on.
pastor contact the fucking CEO. I mean, I am a
Yeah,
bitch. When
because
I
they'll
wanna
do
be.
it to you
I
at
do
the
not
back
do
of the
anything
head.
And,
to
then,
me
and
that
it
y'all
was
do.
crazy, like, after, but my charge nurse heard him say it. She pulled me aside. She was like, "Are you okay? I heard everything. I'm gonna go talk to your director." Da, 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 da. White woman, of course. Like, but I was just like, damn, it's crazy. Like, you heard it. You was appalled. You know what I'm saying? I was like, thank you for standing up for me. Because anybody else would be like,
Well, he's
you know what I'm
the,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
he's the boss.
you know what I'm
You
saying?
can't
He's
say
the boss.
anything to him.
Let me make it very clear. From being, like I said before, being in human resources for 6 years and then switching over to the floors to work on the unit, a lot of upper class in those positions, they do not expect you to talk to them any type of
Exactly.
way.
Right.
And they do get away with a lot of stuff. But know that there are rules, there are policies that everyone has to follow. No one is exempt from
That's
it.
right.
So regardless of what power they hold, and they will throw it in your face of what power they hold and what they, you can go
Yeah.
against that. Don't ever feel intimidated, because that's what they think. I can say whatever. You're not going to really do anything to me. Look at where my position is.
So
You're
we
not gonna
had
say
that
anything.
conversation with her,
You
and I
can
was like,
say-
you need to lawyer up
You
ASAP.
can say,
That's the thing about
Yeah.
me too. I'll
get
contact my
over
lawyer.
against them
Yes.
and try them.
hot.
Yes,
Try it.
you would have had a whole wing of that hospital. All
Yes.
the babies would have been
Yes.
coming through.
That's
Look,
right.
they'd have been coming through same
They
prenatal,
would,
same NICU in this Mickey flick. Cause
Yeah.
yeah,
See, that's a part of what I'm saying about creating your reality.
Right.
You demand respect, no matter who it's from, and from everybody. My grandmother's 94 years old. She respects me. I demand respect from everybody
right.
and at every moment, because I'm going to respect you.
Right.
that's right.
And if you show me the game, I'll show you how it's played.
Ooh.
So if you fucking disrespect me, I will make you regret that shit.
Come on,
See, that's right.
Create your reality. Don't walk in the room feeling like
you don't belong now.
I am a butch, lesbian, black woman, so I have to be this. You can be whatever the fuck you want to
That's
be.
right.
And at any moment that you want to change what you want to be, you can be that then. And then at any moment you want to go back, fuck anybody. Don't
right.
let nobody hold you up to an expectation. Don't feel like you got to live any certain type of way. Live your life the way you want to, and always feel like everybody got to respect you. So when somebody disrespect you, or you disrespected me, bitch, you tripping.
Right.
I came in here, queen. You fucking crazy.
That's right.
You just
Right.
disrespected me.
Right.
You're a peasant, and you gotta pay for that shit.
That's right.
And you make sure they do that, and you do everything in your power to make sure they do that. And then if it doesn't work out, bitch, get violent. That's what I always
and
do.
don't
Hashtag choose violence. Yes, ma'am. Choose violence.
So you choosing violence is what you saying?
I will choose violence. You know that, right there. You know me. If it doesn't work out,
I mean,
you gotta
if you make it an option and you're making it the only option,
hey,
You know.
put me there.
Yeah.
Put me there.
I know that. Take your pimples off of your
yeah,
cheese.
lawyer up.
God damn.
Because you teach people how to treat you
Yes.
ultimately in any situation. So if they feel so my supervisor, when I was first starting out with work, she told me one of the most poignant things that stay with me to this day. The first time you do something professionally is your most difficult time. You know, when you call out from work the first time, when you apply for a promotion the first time, when you challenge somebody, you know, higher than you, and you know you're right in that moment and you challenge them, the first time you do it is the most difficult. So if a person feels like I can come to you and say whatever the fuck I want, when I do it the first time, that's the most difficult time because I don't know your reaction. I'm going in it completely blind. But once I know your reaction, and I'm like, oh, I put a feeler out, and she was like, all right, you know, whatever, fuck you, you're ignorant. Now I can say whatever I want, and I can cover it with ignorance. You know, there are a lot of people who are very ignorant of the LGBT plus community. They just don't know. So yes, they will come to you and ask you certain questions, but you know, when people are genuinely curious, like, you know, what pronoun? Should I call you she? Should I call you he? Should I call you them? Like, where are you in your journey? Because I want to respect that. That's from a good place. Somebody come, what are you and who are you today? Like, bitch, I will clock your T-zone and I'm going to push you into a corner because you're being disrespectful.
And it was crazy because, like, after all that happened, 3 months, he saw me, he walked the other way.
Yeah.
It was
Because he knew
just
that.
You didn't speak to him? He didn't speak?
It's just crazy. He would walk out, he'd be like, oh.
What was his name?
He knew that there was a...
Oh, you can't say everything on your podcast. Say Mr. Michael. I would speak to him every day.
You
Mr.
know,
Michael.
so there's a window
Please
once
don't
harassment.
tell Dyana that guy's name. Okay.
Don't let nobody do nothing to you.
No, we're about to go across the way and march. You ready?
Yeah.
But people like that know that there's a window in which somebody can file a complaint. They can do some sort of a case or whatever. So he knew that if he said something, or he was disrespectful, or he made eye contact with you, he was gonna be like, you know what, today's the day. Fuck you, Peter. I am filing, and I'm doing it. Like, we live in a very lawyer-conscious society. You can literally go to McDonald's, put a cap on your coffee, not put it on all the way, put it in between your lap, drive, squeeze it with your leg, and sue the company for millions of dollars. That's where we are. So we are in a very legal society. So
Very give you some coffee.
please don't. They got the warning label on the top.
Don't let
now.
nobody do that to you, girl. Don't let no
Yes,
bad
ma'am.
do
That's
that.
right.
She said
But-
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But you know, I will
See,
say,
I try to provide for my family by getting coffee on my thighs. This backfire.
That's
Coffee
my
blisters
ignorant daughter
on your
said that.
thighs.
She's like, Mom, I'm gonna burn myself with some tea. I can pay for college.
hey, there's a plan.
Well, the money she get might have to cover her burn grafting. It's not worth it.
Right. And then you're going to have tilapia skin on your thighs, sis. You're not thinking it's through.
No.
But I will say, like with the LGBTQ plus community, being bisexual is, and that's where I am, that's where I live. However, I would never be in a relationship with a woman because, bitch, I could literally fight you. So I'm not trying to go there because, you know,
That's the
I
thing about me.
got
can't
mouth
be
and I got
somebody
hands. So what we doing is my question.
So,
Like,
Yeah,
in
that's
my
what I'm
situation,
saying.
it is more desirable to be bisexual because there's this air of, ooh, she gets down with the girls, and ooh, she might bring a girl home, and ooh, this, that, and the third, versus being, you know, a lesbian. And then there are degrees to your lesbianism, you know. There are the lipstick lesbians who get all dressed up, dolled up, makeup, and then the other extreme is being,
Young
you
and
know,
dead.
more of a dom or a dominant lesbian, you know, and they don't really get that same vibe or appeal because the men folk know I can't penetrate that, but they look at me as, oh, this is a fun time, you know. I can sleep with her. She can call one of her homegirls, be like, what we doing? It could be a whole yada, yada, yada. Sir, you can barely handle me. So we're not calling an empty one because you need to master home base before you go into the outfield. Let's be very clear.
Okay. I like that.
I'm just
And
saying.
on that note,
I like that.
the lesbians on the other end that you call the, you know, I call it,
Lipstick?
not the lipstick. What's that?
Dominant.
Dom.
Yeah, more dom.
Studs.
I call y'all
Dom or
the
stuff.
African American
Is that
women.
okay?
We're called
But like,
studs.
see, some of
Fellas.
them,
Can I call y'all the fellas?
like
Hey,
some are okay with that.
Dirty
but
Mike
not-
and the boys.
But like honestly, like I'm
Some,
still
but not all.
Not
not
all of
all.
them.
But
Right.
I know some doms that still want to be like addressed as
Yes.
her, female
Yes.
pronoun. They don't want to be considered
Exactly.
male. They'll get offended.
Yes.
You know, so
Which is
I do
true.
know some.
because
like
I'm
that.
still very feminine.
Right.
I am.
Yeah.
So like, but I do just I'm a stud. But I have my feminine traits.
So the best way
I
to
feel
know,
like they're always gonna have feminine traits.
Yes.
Because you can't stop what you are, you know, and so you're always gonna have some type of emotion that is feminine if you was born a woman.
right?
What's that question people say? If a chicken lays an egg, where does it roll?
Oh, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
No, it's another one like I forgot what it was. It's just. I'm
Why are we
sorry, I
talking
can't
about
You making up
chicken?
stuff. You made that shit up. You never heard of it.
Testing, 1, 2,
this,
3.
No, this is
Do
the
you want
problem. My
KFC?
grandmother, Mildred Harris. That's why.
Your grandma probably
Because she
did
told
say
it to me.
that.
Matter of fact, it wasn't nothing. Because you know what? It's a funny story, y'all. It has nothing to do with this. So I went to a problem with my grandma, and I said, "Grandma, you know I'm having this problem in high school. Yada yada yada." Just let y'all know, she's not the best person for advice.
No.
So she told me, "Well, baby, the chicken trusted the devil, and the turkey flew away."
So where the chicken go?
All right,
Did the
so-
devil turn the chicken to a turkey?
Where did the turkey even come into play?
This is my
I
grandma.
want to talk to her.
Did the devil turn the chicken
Do
to a
you?
turkey?
I
She said no, you don't.
Do you?
Goddamn turkey came out of
No,
nowhere.
grandma.
No, I hit a little J, have a conversation.
You gonna need
Yeah.
her.
You don't need a J to talk to grandma.
No.
Grandma's on a J automatic.
Grandma be on
You know what I'm
one.
saying? Shout out to Mildred Harris, man. Yeah.
But like, even like just sticking with the community, you know, there are a lot of battles that people don't see that the LGBTQ plus community go through. You know, like, and it comes down to the, you know, you decided to be this way. You know, you weren't born this way. You decided. But who in their right mind makes the decision to say, I'm going to wake up and be ridiculed for who I find attractive.
Right.
I'm going to risk getting my ass beat because I want somebody who looks like me.
Right.
I'm going to literally go to my parents, break their hearts because I chose this. You cannot, and this is what pisses me off about when men say, and it's mostly men, they say, oh, you know, there's an agenda right now to push homosexuality. I cannot take a 6-inch penis and push it into a 100% straight man's face and he accept it today, tomorrow, for any amount of money, point blank, and the period. If he desires that 6-inch to 9.5, 10, 12, come on, Jesus penis, whew,
Speak your mind.
somewhere along the line, he wants it because he wants it. Nobody's pushing it on him. There's no amount of TV. There's no amount of rainbows. There's no tight pants. There's no cut-off shirts that can force you to desire your same sex. Not that you need to be repulsed by it, but there is a certain chemical reaction that occurs in your brain with attraction. You can't force attraction. Disney movies can't do it. Cartoons can't do it. Same sex parent homes with kids in kindergarten and all that. You can't force that type of attraction. You can't. You cannot. Now, we can segue into a whole nother situation about, you know, keeping certain kids away from drunk Uncle Pete because Uncle Pete does certain things to children and may alter them another way, but that's a whole nother conversation that we can or cannot get into. But you cannot chemically alter people to be homosexual. So it pisses me off when people say that. The thing is that because society is more accepting of being who you are, more people are more comfortable with saying, you know what? I am this way. Or maybe I don't know who and what the hell I am right now, but I'm open to exploring the option. And if it's not killing you, if it's not hurting you, if they are not molesting anyone, if there's no bestiality, if there's no assaulting children, if there's no assaulting older people, why the hell do you care?
I think that it's not that they're specifically trying to say that it's an agenda on adults.
Speak up, honey.
But I feel like they may be concerned about the children who are viewing this and might not know. You know, they are learning. This is how they learn, by witnessing, experiencing, seeing others. And if they are not fully developed, which a lot of these kids are not,
Right.
and they're just seeing something, they might take that into consideration without actually really knowing that that's
Well,
how
yeah.
they're just trying to experience. And I think that a lot of us as parents, we want to protect our children as much as possible. I do feel like it's some people are, well, I'll say the majority, are probably born like that, you know? I'm not sure though. So I would want to protect my child. You know, when my brother came to me, my younger brother, he was 13. He had a little sweet. It was a circle. My aunt, my cousin, who was a stud, you know, Taylor, and my brother, and I was like, oh, just in the days, I didn't even know what's going on. They just brought me into a room, and they're like, I want to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'll be in this little circle. And my little brother was like, you know, I just want to let you know I'm gay, you know, and I just bust out crying. I was so scared for him.
Yes.
You know, and all of our lives, my father made it very clear. My father made it clear. My grandfather made it clear that there's no gay men in this family, and gay should be this. And they had a lot of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff.
Old school. They stuck in their ways.
When it came to men in general, they really didn't speak on women.
Which is
But,
crazy.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure he felt both ways. But when it came to men, it was like a big deal, and that's how I was raised. So when he first told me, I was like, I was sad for him. I was sad and I was scared. I just didn't want him to be looked upon as someone who was dirty or be someone attacking him because of his sexuality. I was really afraid because people were attacking people.
You weren't coming from a place of hate. You shouldn't be that. You were genuinely fearing what society was putting out of that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. And your thing was, oh my God, they're all going to see you as wrong. They're all going to say you shouldn't do that. Somebody might literally try to kill you because of your choice.
They were killing people back then.
Yes.
They were
They still do.
People.
They still do.
And I was afraid for them. You know?
So yours wasn't a lack of acceptance. Yours is more of a genuine fear for what's going to happen in his life now because he's professed his truth, which is totally different than you shouldn't do that. You can't do that. It's like, what's going to happen to you now that you've said this?
Mm-hmm. And now my father, he doesn't have a hate towards, because he's changed and got saved and stuff, but he definitely believes that, oh, God, you just gotta pray this over. You're gonna get through this. Pray this demon off of you. That's how he feels.
Yeah.
He feels like he's gonna get through this.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
like,
a
he's
phase.
gay since we was kids.
Right.
And now he's an adult. He's 30-something. And my father still is like naive about it. Oh, he's just going through a phase.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what's crazy? Touch on base with that because like I was in like I knew when I was in elementary school.
You knew before.
Girls.
Yeah.
You knew before.
I knew.
Her mother would put her in
But, like,
dresses at 7, 8 months, and she would bawl her freaking eyes out.
I knew it.
She hated being put in these frilly, girly, hated it. And her voice,
Deep.
her voice has been Barry White since
Hey,
Wait a minute, what?
since she was like Barry White.
Who?
What's up, y'all?
But let me tell you something.
Look,
about
practice
Trey, all right?
what you preach.
Let me say something about Saint.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh my gosh.
I knew Saint was gonna be gay, man. Since like I don't know, 3rd, 4th goddamn grade.
Well, we all knew before then.
She was wearing
We knew before
better
then.
FUBU outfits than me when I was in elementary school. She was talking about some. Yeah, so what you eat for lunch? I heard they serving assorted pieces with onion rings. Like, why you walking all tough up on me, man? I'm your blood. But I mean, you just tell. You can just tell for certain people in certain families. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it is what it is. You accept it.
I couldn't be myself though, like for the longest time, because I had to like hide it
Certain people.
to
From certain people, yeah.
Right.
And I got like middle school. This is a true fucking story. Middle school, I was talking that shit. I just get, back in the day was notes. Everybody notes.
Yes.
Pass the notes,
Everybody got carpet.
And I had a lot of notes from different girls. I used to I collected them in my shoebox, right? Or like my shoebox overflow, I put it in my sock drawer.
Yes.
Right? And I didn't know my mother was going and taking my socks, because I love socks. I collect socks.
Mm-hmm.
She was taking my socks. She found some notes. Right? That happened. She was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, what are you talking about? mean?
Oh, wait.
I don't know what you talking about. Yeah, that was a big blowout, and like she was like, "Nah, my daughter's not gonna be gay. It's a phase." And I'm like, "Ma, no, I like girls. Like, this is who I am. Nah, no, it's a phase. No." You know, that happened. Then I got in high school. Shit got real. You know, like I had a girlfriend, all that stuff, and she wasn't fucking with it. And then like she kicked me out the house. I got kicked out. You know, I moved with my dad for a little bit, and then she was like, "Nah, fuck that. You come back home." And then like, then I had to like, I literally called all of y'all. I was like, "I gotta tell y'all something." I was crying because like
and it was like we didn't know.
Yeah. It was like, we do. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
You know,
Just like
cool.
the brat, she just came out as
you know,
as a lesbian.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I really thought it was like a joke skit or
Yeah.
something.
We knew the brat was gay.
Yeah.
We always knew it. Like I looked into the brat, yo. But
Like,
like,
you wear husky jeans. Like,
nah, but like,
38 regular.
but I'm like now, me and my mom the coolest shit. That's my homie, and she loves me for who I am.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It took her a while, but she knows that I never changed. I'm always a sweet person. You know, big ass heart. I do anything for anybody. I'll never change that. So like, that's my bestie. You feel me? It took us a while to get there.
Yeah.
But like, our relationship is dope. But like, I'm glad that it happened that way. Cause like, if it didn't, like, I probably still like, you know, switch. I used to all the tomboy, so I switch like back and forth. Like I wear my girl clothes, wear my boy clothes. I was like, I had a, my figure was dope back then.
Yeah.
So like I got chunky now. Shut up, hey, COVID, weight, whatever. But nah, but I just didn't like how dudes looked at me. So that was a big thing. I had to cover it up, or just older men in general. I just didn't
Girl,
like
aren't they
it.
so creepy?
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
like
God.
that was a big thing because I didn't.
Men are creepy.
I didn't like what is it?
Sorry.
Or like people
They
like,
are.
oh yeah,
But
you-
they are.
Like,
I'm so
oh,
sorry.
or
Men
like,
are
or like when
creepy.
like you see
I'm
you
so
having
sorry,
son
but I
already.
feel so uncomfortable around
Right,
men.
like when somebody you haven't
A
seen
lot
it in a while, they
of
be like,
time.
"Oh, girl, you grew up. You really grew."
Oh,
Like no.
like please don't.
Wait a minute.
You
time
put
out.
these
Hold
on.
I said I'm sorry because it's not
No, not
all
that.
men.
But nah, like-
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something, okay?
What's up?
Us men, we experience the same thing. Like, oh,
I
you
know.
grew up.
I know.
Because there's been a lot of
Yeah,
females
women-
that,
Yeah.
a lot of ladies that I know
Freaky
that are much
coochie.
older than me
Yeah.
that come to me
A
like,
lot of old
oh,
freaky
you grew up
coochies.
real.
Yeah, but it's just like it's just like
I always divert them to it.
Yeah.
We related, ain't we?
So when I
Tell
thought on the LGBT community, for the most part, honestly, I don't touch on it. I think it's, I don't want to say complicated and intricate, but in a sense it is, and I'm just really not interested in it in depth. I care about people though, so I'm not gonna not give you a job because you're gay or because I don't give a shit. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of it. I do still feel like there is an agenda being pushed on the children, and more so, I don't like the fact that they will publicize and praise a gay black man before they will a straight black man. If a black man is just being a black man, he's toxic. He's too aggressive. He's this, but they'll push gay black men to the forefront. Here, this is a good example.
Yeah.
This is a black man,
Yeah.
So then you have a little boy who might not necessarily be gay, and I say this because I've seen it a lot, more than once, who might not necessarily be gay, but he wants to be the acceptable black man. And I've also seen this issue several times. I worked in a psych ward for 3 years. So he wants to be the acceptable black man. And I also have seen a lot where people will go to the gay community because they want to be accepted and not necessarily because they're gay.
right.
And then that brings about issues. I've seen people who experience a lot of drug use because of that, because they're living a life that they're really not even comfortable with. So I don't care if someone's gay or not gay. I know there are a lot of laws and all that against it. I don't give a shit. It's a lot of other weird shit that happens.
Yeah.
Gay people should not be in the forefront. I don't care. But I do feel like every time, it's like gay and over-sexual always go hand in hand.
So that's why when I see homosexuality, I automatically have a problem with it because I never get to just see them love each other.
Yeah.
It's always sex. It's always a gay man. I can take your man. Damn, bitch, respect me. Like, why you have to one up me? Why do you have to show me that you can be better than me, but you are a man? So now you're laughing at me. But come on, where's the peace? Why aren't people just loving each other? Period, all the way around.
I got you.
And I'm not trying to be. If I hear no, I don't care if he's black gay man or white gay man, Spanish. I don't
Say
care.
pussy.
If I see another talk
That
about his wet pussy,
shit irritates me so bad.
I'm going to go crazy. I'm trying to
Honestly,
all I hear is,
my wet pussy is
Shima, I told Shima that I didn't want to talk about this
Wait a minute.
conversation.
No,
I
this
I'm
is-
sitting here. What you
This is
say?
free. This
I'm
is fine. We
saying
vibing.
that I don't mind anyone, and I don't care what race it is, but if I hear another gay man talk about his wet pussy, I am going to go off. Okay?
And so I told
just
Shima I wasn't
can't.
going to touch on this subject, and it's because for me, I can come across very offensive to someone who is gay. But you would have to have an very detailed conversation to understand that it's not that. But it's exactly what she just said. I hate all the antics behind it. It's just like, be normal, because you are normal.
Yeah.
You're just a normal person. Be
I'm
normal.
going to be 100% honest, okay? Look, god damn it. My mind works. Sometimes I can be immature. But if I'm with one of my gay friends and he talking about some, man, my pussy hurt. I'm laughing, bro.
So that's why I feel like, or I know for me, that's why you make it like you're being abnormal. Or you making it a joke. Why are you doing that? That's unnecessary. And are you even in reality? Because you do not have a pussy. And you don't need to have a pussy. You are a gay man, and it is okay.
Yes.
You don't need to be a woman. It is okay to love a man as a man if that's what you want to be. In your mind, you don't have to think that you have a pussy to accept yourself.
Right.
To really accept yourself. I feel like they run around, and I'm gonna say they are so fucking apologetic.
Some of them.
I feel like a lot of gay people run around just trying to one up straight people. And a lot of straight people will fuck with gay people just because they're gay and all of that as well. But anytime that you say something or say what your problem is, oh, you're homophobic.
Right.
You're homophobic.
Right.
That's the like that. You come on now, seriously. I can't
It's
even
very
discuss
loose.
an issue with you.
Right.
The first thing you do, and then cancel culture comes in, and everyone's a follower anyway. So soon as now, oh, she called her homophobic. Well, I don't want to touch that. No one wants to touch that because that's a sensitive subject.
Right.
So they'll automatically say, yeah, she homophobic. Instead of truly addressing the issue, because everyone's scared to touch that because nobody wants to be the person that is homophobic, just like nobody wants to be the racist. Doesn't mean you're not.
Right.
But doesn't mean you're not homophobic, but no one wants to be that. So a lot of innocent people get caught in the line fight. So what happens, right? So now, bitch, you make me pick a side. Because you just called me homophobic when I wasn't.
Right.
You just made me pick a side. I ain't gay, so then fuck you.
Right.
So that's how it goes. The same thing that happens with racism a lot of times, because people often want to compare the two, which I won't get into that.
Absolutely
Right. It's totally different.
But yeah, but that's what happens. So I feel like there needs to be change. And of course, the straight, which is so weird, straight community, gay community. Motherfucker, we is our community.
We are a
You
community. That's
with
what I was
your
ready
weird
to say.
ass.
Yeah.
We just all together. Why
Yeah.
y'all breaking it down like that? Everybody,
Facts.
you keep breaking it down and putting everybody into boxes
Like,
and then
stay out of
saying
people's
we need to
bedrooms.
come together. How?
Right.
We
Right.
breaking everybody down too much. But on both ends, there needs to be honesty,
Respect.
Yes.
respect,
That's
because
most
I
definitely.
don't have to accept you. That's
That's
just
right.
the bottom
This is
line.
true.
That's right.
And
But that honesty is a big.
let me say a couple things real quick. Well, if your coochie hurt, go get that shit checked.
Okay.
And besides that, this is going to be the end segment of the visual for this podcast. If you want to listen to more, go check out the links that I have on my page. But like I said, this is the end of the visual. You want to check more out, you want to listen to the rest of it, go to my link tree. I'm available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. But going back to what you were saying, I completely
I don't have to accept you. I don't have to. That's my right. As long as I'm not harassing you, I'm not blocking you, because those are the things. That's where that to me is a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm a standing for a gay person. You would think I'm gay. I'm bitch. You better fuck that. Like you're not gonna do that, you know, because I'm just a human person. So it's like, but for the people who don't do that for you, don't worry about it. You spend more time worried about all the who don't accept you, because I don't have to accept you. I don't accept a lot of people because I don't have to, and there's no amount of bashing that you can do to make me say, oh, okay, because why are you gonna bash somebody into accepting you? Don't worry about that. Let somebody love you from the door so you can know where they genuinely coming from, and then you can move forward. Whoever want to get educated, they can always be educated if that's what they want. But stop worrying about the people who don't accept you, and stop calling everything homophobic, because that's not true. And over-sexuality is over-sexuality. I've never seen, I know I have teenagers, so Nas X, never ever.
Nas X.
Yeah, I've never seen like one of his performances, but my daughter was showing me like a part of it. That's disgusting. That should not be on TV. I don't care if he's directing it to a woman. That is too much sex to be on TV. That is too much.
That new video.
It's too much. I don't care if that was a woman doing it. All of that shit, I don't watch award shows. I don't watch any of that. So if I'm saying stuff wrong, just tell me. I don't care about.
So when you say it should be on TV, are you saying like a certain time of day on TV, or just
No,
TV?
period.
Period?
I mean, we
well,
had
because
uncut. We
wait,
had uncut.
no,
We had uncut.
Yeah, was at a certain.
But I'm not just talking about him, because I add everybody into that.
Disgusting.
I had
When I
Cardi
was,
B.
you know what I'm saying,
I
15 years
had,
old, watching, I ain't got no panties on
everybody.
at 3 o'clock.
But
So when people bring up Lil Nas X and things like that, my thing is, I can't comment on it because obviously that music ain't meant for me. Obviously that video wasn't meant for me.
But I don't want to see if it was a woman either.
And that's
I
what I
wasn't gonna see it
said.
either,
Because
so I just ignore it.
I don't watch
Cardi
no
B
award
was
shows.
the first one to just
I'm not gonna comment on it. If it's not meant for me, it ain't meant for me.
They had
So-
a award show, and I think they was on like doing. I've never even heard the WAP song from beginning to end.
Oh yeah,
But they did.
But
they
it's a
did-
banger.
Yeah, but that should have been on TV.
No.
I don't want to see her crotch.
Who?
Her fucking grandmother. If she
Talking
wants
about
to
Cardi
watch
B.
the goddamn award
Why?
show, she shouldn't have to
See
see
the crotch.
pussy. You should pay to see that pussy.
But Madonna
But-
used to do that.
Shit.
Yes, I was just about to
That's
say
what
this
I'm
isn't
saying.
new.
But I ain't never seen
Like,
butt ass nigga.
Oh yes, ma'am.
Shit, you
She
don't know
rolled
Madonna.
around. She rolled around
Madonna
like a
has it
virgin
on.
on MTV
Yeah.
with a wedding dress, heiched it up,
she lifted
rolled
it
around
up.
on the
Yeah.
stage with her like
And she had a
panties
little
and
dark
rolling
up in
around
there.
and all
And she
that.
was talking about butt ass nigga.
Yeah.
Well, society has shifted from the
Society has
80s,
gone crazy.
but at that time,
That was
that
much.
was
That
controversy.
was. But now
For
it's
that
just
time.
But now,
out
see,
there.
but you would get
But-
one and hit, 1 and 2.
Yeah,
hit,
right.
When
But-
you was young, if you see someone on TV, like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I remember when
But now
93.9
everybody's
used to
trying to push the
accidentally let people
envelope.
cuss.
Yes,
They say
exactly.
shit when they play the wrong record.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, you heard that on the radio. You know, so it happened, but now it's
But everybody
Everybody.
is trying to go for the it factor, the wow factor. They have to shock people because people aren't surprised by anything anymore.
But
That's the
why-
problem.
Why are we doing
Because
that?
kids are exposed to things too early. People are desensitized from violence. They are
why you wanna know the-
emotionless when it comes to sex, like
Yeah,
you mentioned
and that's what I'm about to say.
before.
You want to know the long term why?
So-
because of the part in your brain that it triggers, and so
Yes.
it causes people to spend more money. They become addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they need it. It allows you to control them. If you get a man horny, you can control him.
Oh,
if I
please
want something
believe.
from my dude that I can't get, if I want to put him in a little mood, I'm like, oh, you know, you actually control. So when you it's different
That's why
part of the brain
strippers-
that it triggers.
that's why strippers
yeah,
get
it's
so
like
much
strippers.
money.
It's different part of the brain that triggers. If you go to look at a brain under like if it's under drugs, and even when it's like over sexual, you'll see that in lifetime it affects the same parts of the brain. So it all at the end of the day is
It's an
about
addiction.
money.
Yeah.
It's all about money. So that's why they do it. It's all about money.
And that's sad.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
But getting back to
Hold on, before we move to anything else, does anybody have any last statements on being a black woman in America? I forgot to ask you that. You have anything else left on that topic?
It's
We are the
hard.
most hated.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Regardless of my reality, yes, we are the most hated.
Most hated.
Oh,
they love our style.
yes.
They
But
want to
we
be
are-
No, we
us.
are the most adored,
We are the most
but we just
adored.
are the most hated.
And most, yes, that's
They
what I
want
said.
to
They
be
hate
us
They want
until
to be
it's
us,
time to
exactly.
be us.
But that includes other black women.
Yes.
That does.
And that's
It is.
where it
It
comes
is
from.
from every part. You get it at every turn.
Like-
When a black woman speaks to me, honey, I am so fucking happy.
Yes.
If a black woman has a conversation with me, a gay girl can easily pick me up. Because if she start having a conversation, I'll be like, oh, okay,
Oh my
you know.
God, sister
And I'll start
friend.
talking. And then she talk about getting them. I'm like, wait a minute, bitch. You
This
tricked me.
is
You know, but honestly, oh my God, I'm gonna get bashed. Don't bash me, y'all.
What?
Black women are so fucking nasty.
Yes.
Wait a minute, say
That-
that again.
It's not
They
that
are
deep,
so
man. Yes.
fucking nasty.
Yep.
To themselves, to each other, like
I have been hated for years. I'm talking about since
for no
middle
reason.
school.
For no reason.
And not for,
For-
having like
for
nothing.
developing.
I have done nothing to you wrong. You don't even know me, but you just do not like me.
And
High
it's
school
weird.
was bad for me. High school was
Wow.
bad. Like I had to. I almost got into a few fights. Somebody called me a graham cracker. Like, what is a graham
What's a
cracker?
graham
Graham
cracker?
cracker.
Graham cracker.
What?
Pretty
What
graham
do you mean?
cracker.
A graham cracker.
I was taking pictures of my children, and I was looking
it
real
should
cute.
text
Oh, you
your
were
hair.
cheerleader.
I
Okay.
was like, look at this graham cracker, like with her group of friends, and I had no idea who she was. I just knew that women were not liking me, and I didn't find out until after high school. One of the women who did not like me, who wanted to fight me, told me why. She said you was very pretty, very attractive, and you was taking a lot of our men. I didn't date none of these men.
They
I
just
didn't-
liked you.
Yeah.
They just wanted you.
I did not date none of
That
these
sounds
men.
like
I
a
wasn't-
personal problem.
And that's my problem. Like,
she
Insecurity.
literally said,
hating
you,
me
and I was like,
because
ninth
of
grade.
men.
You guys are 11th, 12th grade.
Right.
And this is the type of, you guys are really hating me for real.
crazy.
Like,
Like-
I almost got into a few fights.
The fact that we are all sitting here right now and all vibing is very heartwarming to me because in instances,
We are not going to give you
Look.
that credit right now.
boy, heish. But in these instances, it's very difficult to even get family members together, to even get friends that you were friends with in high school together, just sit down. And I'm gonna use a Jackie Christie phrase: have a ponderosa, you know, have a con, you know,
Ponderosa.
just to have
What the hell?
basketball wives. Jackie Christie have a ponderosa. She used it inappropriately, but just to sit down and have a conversation, be real, be open, be vulnerable. There is so much power in our ability to be vulnerable with each other, to learn from each other, to enlighten each other's ignorances. Like, people see ignorance and think it's a bad thing. Ignorance is just not knowing. It's the choice or the decision that you make in that ignorance. You can stay there, or you can reach out to your sister and fill that void of that ignorance. So it's truly your choice. We have so many people, like, you know, we have married people here on the panel. We have people who are mothers. We have people who are in the LGBT community. We have people who are in different spaces in their career, different spaces in their workout. Hey, trainer. You know, so there's so much that we can learn from each other if we would just humble our fucking selves and say, as powerful as I am in my knowledge, I don't know everything. So can I reach out to you, have a conversation with you, and that conversation stays between us? I don't want to hear from my mama that somebody's cousin told their niece, told their daughter from my best friend that we had a conversation, because now I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't trust anybody. I want to stay in my house, on my hill, by myself. If I come to you and I humble myself and I say, I need your help, I need your opinion, I need an idea, humble yourself enough to take that place as a black queen to educate me. Because I don't know everything. I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not great at everything. So societally, as women, black women, we need to have a come to whoever you worship moment, come to Jesus. In my case, come to Ma'at moment, and really feed off of each other for whatever that is.
We got a
I'm talking to her.
Oh,
She wanted it so I can speak. I would like to say with that, I agree with that as well. But boundaries and respect has to be put out there on
Yes.
the table as well, because you do have a lot of people who want to powwow and get together and share their knowledge. But then you also have a lot of people who will steal from you.
Everybody don't deserve the space.
Yeah, people will
Also
steal your inventions.
Yes.
They will steal your
Ideas.
They will steal so much from you, and you thinking you helping them and you're giving them some type of feedback. And you're giving them knowledge, and then you let me show you how to create this fashion piece, or this is how I did it, and then you see that person that started a new business and they got all your pieces, you know, okay, so
And it's sad
you like,
that you
what in
mentally
the
have to
world
be
is-
like, do I need a non-disclosure to speak to Shima
Exactly.
before I bounce my ideas off her? And I shouldn't have to do
and
that.
I see that a lot, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
dang, and then that makes that person who
reached
willing
out
to
for help.
open, and open
They
their
don't wanna
knowledge
do it
to
no
you,
more.
not want to do that for the next person. There's so many people who have been burnt
Yes.
by that.
Yep.
Yes. So we need to respect each other. We need to set boundaries
Absolutely.
with each other, because there's a few things that I want to put out there on the table that I want to bring and develop. You know, I have some business ideas, but I don't want my stuff being stolen. You know,
You better
somebody
get them
else has
NDAs,
mine.
type them up, have them sign it.
Have someone
And
steal
then
my
that's what I
stuff.
was gonna say. I was gonna say that's avoidable.
But it's sad that it even has to get to that point.
But it's reality.
Like if we're sisters and we're
okay.
friends, we're sister friends or whatever. Like I take my friendships very seriously. My longest friendship, aside from my sister, is, I was 4.5 years old, and I met my best friend, who's still my best friend to this day. We may have lost touch, life happened, but when we got back together, it was like no time was skipped at all. So, there are really connections, and there are really deep-seated and deep-rooted vibes and connections that we all have with each other as women that we need to really embrace. And everybody ain't hating on you. Like, sometimes when a woman's staring at you too long, she might be admiring your beauty. Say hi, smile. Hey, sis, what's up? But if she, she go there and you meet her, where's she going?
But if she's telling you about yourself, that don't mean she hating on you either.
Period.
Exactly.
We need more friends
Everybody
like that.
needs to handle constructive criticism.
Yes.
But I think so Black women's issue with Black women are really a reflection of the issue with themselves.
Yeah.
We are angry.
Yep.
We are fighting for position everywhere we go. So it's just hostile. A lot of Black women, and it's not even, they are insecure. And when they deal with each other, they still on guard. And they still insecure because they've dealt with their Black ass mama who didn't treat them right.
Okay.
And their grandmothers and even teachers, Black teachers who they felt like, I had a teacher, that bitch.
Miss Jackson.
No, I'll say her name. Fuck. She used to put me out of her fucking class. Every Spanish class. She was a whatever the fuck they want to be called. Afro-Latina. So she used to put me out of her class all the time. Okay? I have always been an honor roll student. She was just being a fucking bitch because she was jealous. She never liked the clothes that I wore coming to class, and I have noticed that a lot with Black women in authority. They're bitches, and it's sad and it breaks my heart, but I understand. So I'm never too much of angry at them because they have fought to get to that position and have fought harder to stay there. And when they go home, they are tired. And when they go to the store, they are looked to the side. And they are discriminated against. And when they're walking down the street, the Black man who is supposed to protect them is being disrespectful if he doesn't get the answer that he wants. And the other
PREEM.
Testing 1, 2. Okay. All right, we back. We are back. We had a little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah, damn sure did.
So we want to go ahead and switch the mood just a little bit. Bring a little bit of positivity into it. We'll see how it go. But let's go ahead and switch it over to some good stuff.
You get the point though.
I like it.
Had a couple music on real quick.
Wait a minute! Is this the rapture?
I just want to bring, you know.
Should we be drinking?
So, this next topic I wanted to talk about, and Pinky, I really want you to, Pynk Diamond, I really want you to, put your thought and opinion into this next topic. Nothing crazy, because I know you're a big fan of music, and you're a big fan of dancing and everything. So, this next topic, Beyonce's Formation video. Let me read the couple of sentences from the article from RevoltTV.com, courtesy of RevoltTV.com. So, the article is Beyonce's Formation video named Rolling Stone's best music video of all time. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the article real quick. According to Rolling Stone, Beyonce's Formation video is the best video of all time. In honor of MTV's 40th anniversary, the magazine compiled a list of 100 of the greatest music videos to ever be released, and Queen Bee's 2016 visual was on the top of the list. The Melina, I can't pronounce her last name, Matosokis directed Formation video came as a surprise the day before Queen Bee was set to headline the Super Bowl 50 halftime show. Give me 1 second. With its powerful message about black culture, its debut during Black History Month was not only strategic but fitting. In the music video, Beyonce addressed issues of police brutality, remembered Hurricane Katrina, and danced over lyrics that flaunted her black pride, her country roots, and Creole background.
Where was Michael Jackson on this?
Okay.
That was what I was about to say.
Come through, remember the
That's what I
time?
was about to
I
say.
completely agree.
Hold up. Okay.
Besides
That's
what y'all
exactly
did.
what I was thinking
I
in my
can't even
mind.
remember the
And
video.
Did we forget all about
I
all
didn't see
damn near all of Michael
Didn't
Jackson?
Because I love me some Beyonce.
videos. I love
Period.
Michael
I dare
too.
MJ will always be there.
I love
I am a
Beyonce.
stan, and I will literally fight you over Beyonce.
I
physically.
love Beyonce, but Michael.
But where was Michael?
I don't think that I've ever had a disappointing Michael.
Thriller still
Thriller.
scares the shit out of people who've seen it 30,000 times.
I just maybe it's because of the message that she had
Right.
behind it, which I understand.
Was this writer born in like 94?
Right.
Ish.
I have no
I know
clue.
you
I don't know
know.
where this writer came from, but the first thing I thought of, so
Michael
you forgot
Jackson.
about Thriller?
Michael
You just
Jackson.
forgot
Oh
about
my
Thriller.
gosh,
That
you're
wasn't even a
right
damn
there.
music
I
video.
cannot
That was
even
a whole
listen
damn
to that
movie.
song.
That,
Yeah.
That was a whole.
Is it Ghost?
Yeah,
Ghost was
Ghost.
2 days
Ghost
old.
was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
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 I just wanted y'all to
Like-
take on that.
Nah.
So while I agree that her videography and her cinematography is over the top and fan freaking tastic, like her visuals are fantastic, phenomenal, but you're not touching Michael Jackson, period. Sorry. And I mean, she even said that herself, like she models herself after him. So how are you going to give her the credit without giving him, you know,
His flowers.
he's going to walk so she could run
Right.
sort of situation? Like, nah. And I love her.
I
Like,
do. I do.
I will belt out Best Thing You Never Had right to now. But, like, no. Like, for me, remember the time, every time I hear Michael Jackson, any song I hear about Michael Jackson, that's the first thing that comes to my brain. The fact that he had powerhouses at the time, at the top of their game, Iman, Magic Johnson, Eddie Murphy, sitting on a throne, and Zeus, rest in peace. If you knew him in his wrestling days, his name was Zeus, but Tiny Lester, who passed away, who was in Friday, just to let y'all younger people know, to have all of these people in his music videos that he didn't even have to pay. It was literally out of respect for Michael Jackson himself that they even came, and Iman was at the top of her modeling game at the time.
Yes, she was.
So for you to have all these people come together and for him to do what he did back then, like, it would probably cost pennies to do now, but for him to do it back then cost him a crap ton of money. A crap ton of money. And Michael Jackson was perfection. everybody who worked with him, worked for him, worked alongside him said, you gonna do this take 85 times until Michael said it was right. And Beyonce models herself after that. Like, if you watch her documentary, she's like, no, this light is yellow, I need it to be white, because when you do this, it's going to be that. But she learned that from him.
Right.
And she said so herself. So, no. Formation is great, but that's not even one of her best videos.
And I don't know if y'all remember growing up on the news, they used to premiere Michael Jackson's videos.
Yeah.
He's the only person I know they've ever done that for.
It's all of his
But you can't touch this,
have
in
been
my opinion, kind of better than
so
Formation.
so creative.
That's a dancing summer bitch.
Yes.
I mean, he's come with the creativity in every video that he has ever done.
Yep.
Like, he has always gone above and beyond with costumes, the dancing, the scenes, the skits, everything.
Animals.
Everything.
Animals.
Everything.
The video game.
Yes.
That's
So,
He throw a hat at you.
have you ever, what was it, Speed Demon? Yeah,
Yes.
Speed Demon. Come on now, there was a whole,
That was a whole movie too.
Yes.
Like, Speed Demon.
Beyonce wasn't in Black too either.
Oh, Man in Black.
I can be H&M.
I'm so mad that y'all just that was funny.
But yeah, I feel like because most of our legit performers have gone on, like the Michael Jacksons, like the Prince, and things like that, Beyonce is probably one of the only standing people who still actually performs. She sings and she dances.
Chris
From
Brown.
the time he ain't doing them type of numbers.
Chris Brown
He ain't doing them types of numbers.
He's great.
He's not doing them numbers.
I ain't never seen Beyonce do a backflip.
He's not. When was the last
why I'm
time?
staying quiet. I don't know nothing about this.
When was the last time he sold out anything?
But Beyonce is great, but I still feel like she's missing something. I don't feel like she's reached the level of Michael Jackson.
No. They're you can't compare anybody to
Well,
Michael.
now her husband's a Negro. Let's be clear. It's only but so far they're going to let them get. They
Right.
speak a lot of Black Power shit.
Right.
So you
Because
gotta-
they are financially at a point where they don't give a damn.
Yeah. So
anymore.
Michael Jackson was very fit-in-ish.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
he bleached the skin.
yeah. They
He tried.
You got
Yeah.
white kids. The
Yeah.
British goddamn kids. Okay?
But I mean, like, nobody
yeah.
is performing from the time they hit the stage to the time they leave with minimal breaks like she is. Nobody.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm not a what is it, beehive?
Beehive.
So I'm like a weirdo and a huge conspiracy
Oh, yeah.
theorist. So I don't even know when the last time I seen the video because I always think they're trying to brainwash us. So I ain't seen the music video in probably about 6-7 years. No lie, I have not seen it. So I've never seen any. So I'm just shutting my mouth. But I can't tell you, I have seen her in concert. And I was in a trance. Like, she is the best.
That's mesmerizing.
Performer.
Yes.
She will go to break and I'm still like,
She is perfection.
Right.
Chris was in there, and Chris was like, he was like, man, I think they sprayed something in the air. Like, he was in there, he was like, hey, she tight. Like, I never noticed it. Like,
amazing.
she was mesmerizing.
She is.
So she's an excellent performer. So maybe they're just, after a while, you kind of got to move forward.
Yes.
You got to move more in the time. So maybe they were just pushing it, you know, a little forward, a little bit. Y'all just got to realize we old now.
I mean,
Yeah, we
are.
are.
Yes. That woman was on
She's
stage
not-
singing. Fan was blowing inside her.
And her
too.
hair
whole
got
head.
cut. Yes.
Have you ever seen
When
her?
she fell down the
That's what
steps.
I asked you. Have you ever seen her when
She
she
head
fell?
waved and she fell down the steps. She was like, and
Somebody
stood
had
up.
to come get her hair out the
Yeah.
back. She was still
It took 2 security guards and a tech person to
was
get
like-
her hair out.
but still saving.
My
okay?
daughter showed me a clip. She wanted to show me the city girls' butts because she said, "Ma, look at their butts." So she was, it was. I don't even know if it was a award show or what because she always laughs at the women's fake bodies and
Oh
stuff
my
like that.
God.
She was,
We
like,
talking about fake
she was like,
bodies?
"Ma, look at their
Please.
butts. Look at their butts. You think it's real? It's not moving, Ma. It's not moving." So we were laughing at it. But as I was looking at their performance,
They're winded.
and I'm like, damn, bitch, like,
Concrete
perform.
There's no
Like them
stamina.
girls and back that ass up.
was shaking the whole
Listen.
line out in the 2000. Like, there's no real performance no more. That's right.
They had put all their energy into looks.
Everything
now,
is into looks.
And not into the craft.
Right? Because I'm about to make a song, and I hope y'all support me. Good.
It's good.
I'm not even playing it.
I'm with it.
Good ass, it's good.
I'm with it.
For a lot of people, and this is men and female in the industry, it is not about talent.
No, it is not.
Anymore. It is about looks.
No, it is
It
not.
was
It is
catchy.
about
Kodak
about
Black is not.
catchy. It's about
You said
the
Kodak
beat.
Black.
Kodak Black is not about the look.
And they look at me.
It's about the beat.
You don't want
Black.
to.
Ain't Kodak.
That
Ain't
beat
for the Kodak.
sound.
Yeah, what is
She
catchy?
got
Kodak Black
motherfuckers in
alone,
this in the industry.
You look so
talking
tired.
about
Come on. You just talking about the men, or you talking about the men and the women?
Both. I'm talking about both. Oh yeah, men and
Making
women.
sure.
Well, the men sound worse than the women now.
the
Yeah.
women are just. It's all about their
What the
looks.
girl said.
Right.
It's all about the looks.
Him not dance, money fight.
Man.
These bitches think.
Corey Lori,
Coily Ray.
Corey Lori.
Oh, but she is an awful.
I don't even know who she is, man.
It's like nails
Yeah.
On a chalkboard.
Matter of fact, hold on. Let me go to YouTube.
Please don't play her.
Let me
And the thing that kills me is please don't play her.
Why would I not know?
My thing is,
Oh,
if
okay.
you can't do
'Cause I'm in my
on
30s, I'm
stage
so-
what you do
It's
in
only
the
17
studio,
ages.
you shouldn't do it.
Right.
Because now it sounds like two completely different songs.
Y'all ready for this?
I'm not.
So this
funny
is
as shit.
this is Coily
I'm
Ray's
not.
freestyle. XXL freestyle. Okay. I'm playing courtesy of YouTube.
Oh, God.
Who's freestyle?
Coily Ray.
Who's mad? Oh, that real skinny girl. She's like a
This Ariel.
Hear my body. I can touch my body. I like her. She doing her thing. She okay that she's some
She
shit.
different though. I
All
like
right, here we go.
Coily Ray.
her confidence.
It's okay. That's why I like her.
I don't give a shit.
That's why I know goddamn confidence.
When it comes to
Her music,
Whether you suck or not.
her music is punctuation. Like I love whoever let me.
Here we go, ladies.
do that shit back in the day.
And my family depending on me. I'm the one that's gonna make it out.
Nope.
I'm so paranoid.
That ain't it.
I think everybody gonna sing me out. I think everybody out to get me now. So that's why I'm geeked up off this Henny now. Yeah, I'm numbing the pain, I don't feel it now. And I got him so mad cause I'm winning now. Get a Glock on my waist, I might air it out. Fit it right in my...
Nah, F that. Hold on. I want to show you the other.
She sound like Lennon and Rami.
Hold on.
I'm gonna get it on finally.
But they love this shit. Like if they're in their 20s, I can be
Let me
their
show
mom.
you. Let me.
Yeah.
And again, she just a cute face to me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is she?
Well, she
Ask
she,
again. Is she? With a huge question mark.
Cute face. It's
Hey.
like a
Oh my God.
I mean, everybody's
Alright,
starting to look
here
the
it is.
same
Here's the other one I
now.
wanted to show you. Here we go.
I don't know none of these
Here we
people.
go.
I don't know these motherfuckers.
Oh, I love you.
Oh, God.
What the fuck you doing? Yeah, I love when he fuck me to the beat. Ayy, he a freak, fell in love with me. Let's go. Watch this all get lit. Ayy, watch this all get rich. Ayy, come on these hoes sticks. Come on these hoes sticks. Ayy, but she love my butter love me. My wrist. Ayy, gotta see. Yeah, ayy, we order one.
What is this?
Yeah, bitch, we order one. Yeah, we order one.
That's the freestyle.
Yeah, bitch, we order one.
Okay, my IQ level's dropping. Cut that bullshit.
This sound like when we used to do our drunk freestyles in the basement.
Hey, but you used to kill that shit,
Thank
bro.
you.
Hold
So
it down.
My God.
that is the difference between, as the old heads say, drug user music
And
versus drug dealer music. This is a product of drug user music. You are clearly high on something when you do something like this and
Yo,
put it
I didn't
on
even understand what
record.
the fuck she was
What's her name?
saying.
Holly Ray.
Call me old, but I don't listen to that shit.
I'm not pronounce her name.
Coy like boy.
Yeah, I just hear. I see the C-O.
I don't
C-O.
know who it
I
is.
like that.
Sorry.
Coily Ray.
Okay.
Like
Koi,
fish.
Ray.
Okay, so
Cool.
getting
It
back
ain't
to
it.
something that's gonna
Oh yeah, I'm getting back to something.
Man,
I'm trying to
it's
find
just
videos
like I
of y'all
said.
right
like that just gave me a highlight.
I was about to say, I'm not
It's
being
just-
funny. When I hear most of the rap music, when I hit on
It's
the
a lot of them.
it makes my anxiety high.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yes.
I really feel like, am I old, or did they really change the frequencies of the music
Oh, they
to
changed
just
it.
fuck,
Changed the
to
fucking
fuck with us?
frequency.
They
Because
changed it.
when I listen to it, I get anxious.
very
Like, I
mind-
legit
angry.
And I'm about to say, and cut me off while I got the radio on, because I typically had Pandora on, something like that. Cut me off.
Listen to
While I got that music, I will cuss your ass out.
I'ma follow you.
And yes, I will. It's very different. So they changed the music.
They
song.
did.
So
Yeah,
they made it
did.
mindless. They shortened
Makes
it
you
and they
very
made it more aggressive.
But I found like when I would listen to the hip hop music, I was more aggressive when I got to work, and for no reason.
Oh, but I was doing it on purpose.
I was about to say when Cardi B first started that look, you can with me
been known
if
for
you
years
wanted
that
to,
music
like yeah,
has an influence.
It has an
on
energy.
person.
definitely,
Carries energy.
character.
Yes.
definitely.
Everything. You can listen to a sad song and you'll get sad.
Yeah.
You can listen to a hype song, you get hype. You can listen to a love song, you thinking about a lover. It's
I've
music
definitely
has
called
that
exes
type
that
of-
I
It's
didn't
even
give
been
two
proven
fucks
with
about.
plants.
It has
Like they've tested it
that
with
type
plants.
of control
Like-
over you.
Yeah.
So music
I
is
play hip hop
illusion.
music and my plants is growing.
No, like
Cocaine
certain,
plants.
like plants
What's going on?
respond better to classical music than any
They
other
do.
music
Yeah, I heard
types.
that.
The
Yeah,
frequency.
Yep.
And I already know that. We need to take it.
No, I already knew that. I
You-
kill plants no matter.
Dude, I'm about to say.
Listen,
like,
I kill the plastic ones. Boop boop boop.
You talk
So-
to him.
How you kill a
I
plant?
do talk.
I don't know. That's why I don't
Turn
plants.
them to the sun.
Yes. So I've been so since
Mind your business. That's all.
the summer, like the window that I kept the plant at, like the backyard is overgrown, so it like blocks the sun. So I have to take it outside to the balcony. But I've been doing it. But I was leaving it out there for like a week, so the leaves had started like
Yeah, they go in.
So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me save you. So I was like, I took it back in. That was good.
Ladies,
Some of her plants
this is
look
what
like
I'm looking at right now.
Maybe dead.
I'll be like, oh,
This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at all the topics that I have, right?
Okay.
We might gotta cut this shit in half and save it for the third and final
Battle of the
situation. But
Sexes.
I want two topics I want to talk about that we have left. Cause I don't know what y'all time is looking like. I don't know how late y'all want to be out or whatever. But I mean,
I
y'all
got
wanna
finals.
continue.
I got finals.
I about to say no. I
I got
got
finals.
Okay, so
I got
I'm gonna do two more topics.
And don't speed on forward. They got
I'm gonna
cops.
do two more topics, and then the other topics, I'm just gonna have y'all talk about them. Y'all will basically talk at the beginning of the third part of the
part.
series.
Dig it.
So, I really want to get to Kevin Samuels. That's gonna be the last one. And
Dialogue.
I want to get to.
Poo.
I want to do. Which one I want to do? Chivalry? No. Social media relationships? No.
No.
Is flirting cheating?
No.
Your ex still being friends with your
I do
family?
want to talk about that.
You want to do that one?
And other females.
Which
And,
one?
Wait a minute.
I want to do that one?
You talking about how do you feel about...
Wait a minute, I don't go into the thing yet.
Go ahead.
Reverend. So, do you want to start with the Kevin Samuels one? Because I do have
Yeah,
clips.
let's go ahead and get him
Or
out
do
the
you
way.
wanna
Get him
do
out.
the
Let's get him
ex
out the
watch
way.
one of his
friends
videos and I forgot to watch one before I came. I was
Let's
supposed
go on
to.
But
Get
you
him
know
out
what?
the way.
See, it's so many videos out
But
there.
I have seen
chose
clips and it's
two.
fucking hilarious to me. So
Right.
I will give
Well,
commentary on
let
my
me
clips.
play. Let
Never
me
watched
find
it
the
either.
video that I played
Yeah,
for
I've
the
never
fellas
watched it.
in
You
the
gotta
last
watch the
episode.
full video.
Okay.
To be
That's
fair,
what-
I like
that I
that.
know there are a lot of ratchet ass videos.
These
that
are
Kevin
like, so
Samuels
can
does,
we
but I'm
play
gonna play
a
the ones that I
record?
played
Because
for
that
the
one,
fellas.
I mean, he was...
Yeah.
And then
He
once we
sent
get
that
to the third part
Y'all,
series
I
for Kevin
probably
Samuels,
old.
that's
I
when
don't
I'll find the more
even- I
ratchet
don't
ones. And
This
then
is
we'll
fucking
just go.
house.
Shit, y'all make
But for
me
now,
laugh.
I'll keep it,
I don't even
keep
have
it fair.
40.
Run it,
So,
Daddy.
I'm gonna go ahead and play the first one. Give me 1 second. Let this commercial go by. Courtesy of YouTube.
I ain't gonna lie. When 8th y'all Crockett be doing them, so I be.
Oh, this is.
All right. So
Rack it up.
before I play this, so I just want to let everybody know who doesn't know about Kevin Samuels.
My baby about
He's
to be
what you call, I guess, a relationship coach or whatever. That's what people call him by. He's very controversial. They even have a petition online trying to get him kicked off and all of his material offline. So I'm going to go ahead and play
necessary.
the first.
Right.
I got 2 clips I'm going to play. I'm going to play the first clip, have y'all talk about it, and then I'll play the second clip and have y'all talk about it. And then we'll move on to the next subject. How does that sound? Sounds good?
Yeah, go ahead, do that, bro.
So I'll go ahead and play the first joint.
Play the clip.
All right, he's playing the clip.
So, my disagreement is just basically about the fact that black women shouldn't have to feel obligated to smile to black men. We're holding a lot of trauma, we're holding a lot of problems, mental health issues.
Hold on. How old are you?
24.
I'm gonna say this one more time. I need you to pay attention. I need all black women to pay attention. The world does not owe you understanding or me understanding. If you have all this trauma, go seek professional help, because the rest of us do not have to suffer you.
Okay, it's easy to tell black women and black people
Do you not
in the black community to get help,
Whose responsibility is it to get the help they need?
but it's not available readily to our
That
community
is
that easily.
bullshit.
With the West Side going, how many people
Whose
can
responsibility is it to get the mental health they need? Who?
It is ultimately the responsibility of us to get the mental health that we need, but I'm
You
letting
mean-
you know
you
that
mean the
we are
person
very
in the-
underserved.
You can't make this stuff up. So you say we're underserved. You gotta tell me that the therapists that already exist are overloaded. We don't go get help, man. You just had a therapist on here before. I talked to psychiatrists, and first of all, you understand who you're talking to. I know hundreds of anyway. What do black people tend to deal with? How do black women tend to deal with their mental health issues? With a licensed clinician or with Jesus?
That is what's pushed to us since
No,
from the age of you're little.
No, man.
That's
I asked who. Let's see. I asked who they see. We're not gonna play. I'm not gonna play the lily pad game. Did they go to a clinician or did they go to the church?
The church most often.
All right, and these are educated. Most of these women are educated, and they've heard about therapy. They make the choice not to go. No different than, I'm gonna switch it up. No different than women understanding here that being 200 pounds at 5 foot tall is unhealthy. But yet 80% of our women are overweight and 80% of that is obese. They know the truth. They choose
And
to
the
do
narrative-
something else.
The narrative pushed to us most often is that a guy wants a woman with a big ass. He wants, a thick lady.
Accountability.
We always.
Accountability is kryptonite to modern women. Man, you say the traumas. If I accept it, then you got to do something about them. Because what about the traumas that the black man has to deal with? But we still have to get out here and be functioning people in society, contributing.
It's not about that.
You don't get to walk around and say, have a special victim status.
I'm not saying we should have a special victim status, but our circumstance is different. We are women.
Is your circumstance,
We are less
you're
violent.
24 years old. Is your circumstance harder or easier than your grandmother and your great grandmother?
Exponentially easier. We have access to information we didn't have.
Exponentially easier, but you're handling it worse. Your grandmother and your great grandmother actually can work with a black man with more trauma.
Because they understood that the black woman and the black man are on the same side. Now that we're all free and independent and we could do whatever we want to, why would we seek to, be one with the black man? We even think that being...
Thank you. Clip it, slice it, put it on World Star. She said it, not me. Now that you're independent, you don't need freedom. There you go. There you go. And there you go. And there you go. There you go, black man. There it is. She finally got one.
All right, so like I said, that video was courtesy of YouTube, Mr. Kevin Samuels. Like I said, a lot of people look up to him as a relationship coach and financial coach, any type of coach. But before we get into anything, I want to hear from the ladies that agree with what he says, do you agree? Do you agree to an extent? I want to hear it.
I agree with what he said.
There are certain points of agreement. There are certain things where he absolutely crossed the line because you can't speak for what you're not.
Well, I can say this. I didn't find that clip particular. He has a lot of clips out there.
Right.
He has some that I just don't understand why people even call and want to have him raped and like who is
Right,
this?
that's
Where
what
he
I
come
think he was
from?
gonna play that
When
one
he
today.
just came out of nowhere, just poof, here I am and let me
Yeah.
do this. But for this clip particularly, I felt like she was a poor representation of us, you know.
He was young.
And I think she should have stayed offline. And he had a lot of points. I agree with what he says. I have no problem with accessing therapy. When I needed it, I got it. I actually have an appointment on the 17th. It came to I needed that, and I took the steps to get that. I understand what she's saying back in the day, and it was harder for us. I feel like we have some things that's still harder for us, but it's still our responsibility to take care of ourselves and to fix what we need fixed within ourselves. Period. That we can't blame. We're not going to blame that on the black man in total. We can't do that. Even if you had some traumatizing, I personally had a lot of traumatizing experience with my oldest son's father. But I still keep pushing. I have still been successful. I've still moved on. I still do what I need to do. That has not stopped me. Any of my past experiences, especially from that person, has not changed me. Well, it did change me to one point, but I got the help that I needed to recover from that situation. So I can't understand what this young lady is saying.
So here's the thing. She started out very simply stating that I don't need somebody I don't know telling me to smile. Period. The bottom line is you don't know what anybody's going through on any given day to tell them, oh, you should smile. It ain't that bad. What's wrong with you, sis? You should smile. What if she has no reason in her mind at that time to smile? Don't tell her to smile, then don't make her feel bad for not smiling. Nobody owes you a fucking smile because you ask for it. That is the bottom line. My entire life, I felt like for me personally, and I have a therapist that I go see every Friday at 1:30 without fail, and I have been doing it since October 9th, 2020. June for me was a mental clusterfuck for no reason. Nothing changed in my life, but there were 6 days, and out of those 6 days, I called my lawyer 2 different days to make sure everything that I had that was in my worldly possession was going to go to my sister because I simply didn't know, period. Not that I was thinking suicide, not that I was wanting suicide, not any of those things, but I felt like the world was coming down on me. And this is from somebody who does have a therapist. And going a step further, Kevin Samuels, you need to understand that for a black woman to go to therapy, she wants somebody who looks like her, who has been through similar what she's been through, to understand who she is. She doesn't want to go and sit and talk to an older white man, sit and talk to an older white woman, because at the very base of this conversation, you can't understand what I'm telling you because you've never been through it. You can hear it 30,000 times, but until you've gone through it yourself, you don't know. Just like I can never tell somebody how to be a mother because I've never done it. Period. So don't tell me that I need to smile simply because you say so. Now, yes, he is absolutely correct. If you feel like something is mentally off, it is up to you to ultimately get that help. But everybody's not there. Alcoholism, pills, any types of drugs, everybody's not there to get that help. So this is, again, getting back to that community support. If a person is not there yet to say, I need help, it is up to you as that person's Mother, father, sister, cousin, brother, friend, best friend. Babe, I've noticed something's different with you. What's going on? Do we need to talk about it? Do I need to put you in touch with somebody to talk about it? Like, it's bigger than you need to smile. What if there's no reason for me to fucking smile? So like I understood some of his points, but some things you're simply overstepping because it's not a blanketed statement, because you can't address every person's problem with the blanketed statement. And that's kind of like my bottom line.
Did he say smile or something?
Yeah, in the beginning.
No, at the beginning, she was like,
She said it.
she said like
I don't
she
have to
doesn't
smile
feel
at
like
you.
she owes a black man a smile because he says you need to smile, blah blah blah. However, comma,
I think we didn't
she
catch the whole thing.
I mean, she doesn't owe it, but I'm pretty with a lot of people saying, "Hey, just smile." I mean, we're saying it because we see.
I
And
gotta
it's
smile,
not nothing like
motherfucker.
a big deal. If you want to fucking smile, smile. If you don't, then fuck you. You know, it
yeah,
doesn't have
but
to
you
be
don't know somebody's
a big
mental
deal.
headspace in that moment. That's like if I'm at a funeral and I tell you, "Hey, baby, smile." Your mama just died. The fuck?
I'm pretty sure, but I know, but I'm pretty sure they're just saying, "Hey, just cheer up." But again, it's up to you. If you
Yeah,
don't, it's not a big
and
deal.
then- but
When
the
somebody
thing
saying that,
is-
they're not trying to make it a big deal.
Right, because
They're
I'm going to
just
say
saying
this
it's
is the
sad.
thing. First of
They're
all,
not trying to make it a big deal.
black women, we are not victims.
You're not.
Right.
When you walk in victimhood, you attract predators. We are not a victim. So all of this, I know, but and I can do that, but what about if sis, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? And that's the bottom line. I understand all of those obstacles so I understand everything he was saying, and everything he was saying is true. Regardless of your circumstance, you are 100% in charge of your reality, your situation, and I'm not saying you don't face obstacles. Of course you do, but you are still in charge of it. Still, you're in charge of it. The same way you wouldn't want someone to come yank you by your arm and come tell you what to do because you're an adult. You're in charge of your get off me. You're in charge of your reality, so you are in charge of it. But the reality is, unless you step outside of that, and find all other alternatives coming from, again, someone who has worked in psych for 3 years, there is no real mental health help. Not in a lot of black communities.
Thank you.
There is no. Did I say it wasn't a therapist? There are plenty of therapists. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you money. I mean, drugs. They're going to give you drugs. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to listen to your issue. When they do listen, they don't understand. And they don't understand because they literally live different worlds than us. So in some parts, they just can't help you. The verbiage is different. Everything is very different. So who's going to go sit and talk to someone every week that they can't relate to? And that person can't relate to them. And I used to go to therapy. And I went to therapists for many years, and I worked with therapists for years. So I know it on both ends. Let's be clear, a lot of these therapists be fucked up.
Yeah, they are.
And a lot of them be having hidden agendas, especially in our communities. And again, like I said, when you're talking to somebody, if you want to talk about that overbearing grandmother, or, that, just some of those, like, real stereotypical in your community issues.
We have.
Just like every community has. You just have those things that are just kind of specific to your race based on generations that passed down. When you're dealing with someone who understands that, they don't have to be empathetic. Empathy and sympathy are two very different things. And when somebody can be empathetic, when they truly understand, when they truly know, because even if they didn't go through it, somebody else went through it, they know how to talk to you in different ways, and they know where to touch you in different ways. Because the thing about a therapist is, even most of the time people go in there, they don't tell therapists the truth. And they have to unlock you. And you supposed to, but sometimes you don't even know the truth.
Right. That's right.
They have to unlock you.
It's very bad.
And they have to get down to the bottom of it. But if they don't know you, because they don't understand you, they won't ever even know how to get a chance to know you. And a lot of the times, we cannot
relate as us as African Americans, and I specifically say African Americans and not blacks because we have a much different struggle.
Yes. Right.
So us as African Americans, a lot of times we just can't relate to those people. And for instance, the doctor, one of the doctors I work with, right? She voted for Obama. So she thinks she's
down.
pro-black,
All
right?
right.
Because she voted for Obama.
When it's time to be black.
The one of the dads came into the office with his daughter. He was just a typical black dad to me, you know. Yeah, he talked loud, and yeah, he's kind of buff and he's tall, but I just see a man.
You just see your cousin.
That's all.
Yeah.
But to her, when he was telling the little girl, "Man, hurry up and get in the room, man, get undressed," that was aggression to her. So when she came back to my desk, she was like, "Did you see how the dad was interacting with the kids?" She said to me, she met him in one meeting, and she said to me, "I mean, it's like, you don't think CPS should get involved?"
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. That's
In one meeting, in one meeting, she didn't see him be physically aggressive toward the kids, be verbally demeaning, be psychologically abusive. All she heard was, "Man, get in the room, man." You know, I think he like kind of nudged her a little bit, and it's like, and when she said it, I leaned back. I said, "What?"
Right.
And she's like, "No, I was just saying." I said, "I just saw my father." I said, "I don't know what you saw."
Yeah.
And immediately, like, she turned red. But two things: a lot of black people in my position, because I see it, and they want to play along to get
They
along.
want to fit in.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not sure." Now, boom, he got CPS at his fucking door.
Yes.
Or suppose I was white instead of, and I just didn't understand either. And so in her eyes, right, her intentions was not malicious. She really was scared. She really seen a big black man that was aggressive. She really was scared when she came to that desk. And she doesn't understand that that's rooted in racism. Because in her eyes, I wouldn't hurt others. And all of that stuff ties into mental health. So we are struggling bad as a community. So I understand what he's saying, but I understand what she's saying. But the bottom ultimate line is, it's her responsibility.
That's right.
It is.
And that's just the bottom line.
That's
Because when I felt like I was going crazy at one point, and I no longer wanted to take my depression medicine, and I didn't want to go sit next to no more dumbass therapists who I was smarter than.
Right.
And I just didn't want to do this anymore. I found me a circle of women. I found me people I can relate to. You don't have to look for your family all the time. I found me, people I can relate to. You talk to these people.
Being in a group can also be some form of therapy.
Yeah,
definitely.
And that's what mine was. It was a woman's circle.
Yeah.
You know, a women's sacred circle. But that's what it is. We gotta think outside. But now, sorry if it's your religious folks in here. Now comes religion. So that blocks you. Because a lot of what you can step outside into, especially in our community, is taboo. You know,
It's deemed witchcraft because
you
it's not
don't do
Christianity.
this, you don't do that.
Yep.
But a lot of times those circles is how we can really get in touch with God. Because the way they tell us to get in touch with God is it's in a punishing way. So sometimes people are suffering, they think they're supposed to suffer.
Right.
Yep.
So it's just so much into that. So they were both right. I
Right.
think he's being an ass.
Yes.
Right.
Thank
He's
you.
trying to
Being
simplify
an ass.
a very complicated situation, and
It's just not that simple.
it's not that simple.
It's
And
not
that's
cookie cutter.
and him as being a black man, that's disrespectful. But he's gay, so he's not living his truth. He's not living his truth. So I don't expect honesty out of him. I don't expect him to be genuine. He's angry. He hates women. He hates black women. He got mama issues, if you ask me. I don't know his mama. But he's somewhere else with it. Me, I've never seen a whole clip of his. My sister sent me clips. I fucking find it hilarious. I find it so funny that people call into this man, allow him to tear them down, and he does it. He doesn't see that he has mental health issues. Because you would not do that to another human, whether they allowed it or not. That is not constructive, what he does, and it is not helpful. So what are you doing?
And like I said the last episode, I mean, I agree with some of the things he says to an extent. Now there was one clip I was trying to find, and he was talking to another guy, and I forgot what the guy asked him, but he was asking like, how tall are you? How much do you weigh? How much do you make? And how big is your dick?
How big is your dick?
Oh, he was sizing them up for a day.
He does that every episode.
I forgot what
he asks people to rate themselves.
Yeah, I was trying to find that clip because there's so many Kevin Samuels clips out there. That I was trying to get all of them.
But this goes to show how bad people want to be accepted.
Exactly. Validation.
Yes.
Validation.
This goes to show how bad people want to be accepted.
The number one validated or validation place that I find where people go to is social media.
And they need to go to a fucking mirror.
But he's an entertainer.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
So, ladies, I'm going to go ahead and play one more clip of him, and then we can go ahead and wrap it up.
I hope
when
it's
it comes to this guy.
But while he's waiting for the clip, I will say also again, it is on that person, and regardless of drugs or pills or whatever, it is still on that person because I personally have a sister, April. We know about April, yes, who is big on drugs, has been for a long time, you know. And I would always have her back. I will always try to get her out of that situation. She has kids, 5 now, and she didn't have access to none of them, except for the last 2. Okay, and that's her choice.
Right.
That is something that she chose to do. You had kids, and now everybody else has your kids because you are choosing to rip and run the streets. You are choosing to do drugs. You are choosing to prostitute. You are choosing to do that. We didn't. All of us was trying to get her in the house, trying to get her out of the streets. That's where she wanted to be. That's where she wanted to be.
It's hard for some people to
not
fathom
everybody
that
can
people
be
want
helped.
that. Some people want
she
that.
was wanting to party. Like I'm talking about pictures, Facebook party, and then the mother has her oldest, not the oldest, the second. Oh, she has 7 twins, and the father's mother has them. The mother has her oldest child, the second oldest child, and then the third, I guess, and then the 2 boys. Now the father has them, and she doesn't. You know, she's out here chilling, partying. That's what she chose to do.
And I want to say, your name's Dyana?
Yes.
I definitely agree with Dyana. I have a degree in psychology, and I try to go to therapy. And on my second visit, the therapist was like, well, you have the tools. You already know what to do. So make sure when you guys do go to seek therapy, you're finding somebody that you do vibe with that does understand you. Like, granted, I had the tools, but at the time, my dog had just died, guys. So I was losing my mind. That was very real to me in that moment. But it was like something I was going through. So make sure you just vibe with your therapist. Nobody can tell you how you feel.
Yeah, I got rid of my first therapist because she was a man basher. I didn't even know that. But if I'm having problems with men or an issue with my relationship, I can't talk to you because you are showing me that you are having the same issues as I'm having, and you and your way of dealing with it is anger. You're angry.
They're rejecting it on
my
you.
therapist that she was angry.
Right.
Yeah, there are people
You know,
too that
and
have
she was
that
giving
issue.
me, trying to give me advice on something that I'm trying to do something better.
And your
I'm trying
therapist
to
isn't
develop
supposed to
it. You're
give you
angry.
advice. They're supposed to give you tools on how to deal with your
They're
situation.
actually supposed to let you break it down yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I told you, I was like, I got kicked out of therapy. What is this?
Yeah, they're supposed to actually
So you
let you
definitely
break it
have
down
to.
yourself.
You might go through a few. You might go through a few.
Luckily, I vibed with mine on the first trial. We sat
That's
and cussed
good.
together.
I want that woman. That woman who's on TV.
Ayana.
Ayana.
Iyanla.
Oh my God, I want her.
Iyanla fixed my life.
Yeah, that's my mom. I was like, Mom, we should go in that. She's like, no, I'm gonna fuck her
I
right.
wish
Oh, that's because if she grabs me by my hand and say, "Beloved, I am not gonna beloved."
I love it.
No.
I have
Right.
learned
I
to use
love
her
her.
tools
I wish
in my
they-
personal life, and it's actually worked.
Yeah,
I
she's-
listen to the
she's
things
good.
that she says. She is very
She's not
good.
belittling.
No.
Right.
She's not belittling
She's-
at all.
She
but
can
she's
get
forward
to
direct.
Raw.
She can give you that
She's
real
gonna give you that
without
raw
like
deal.
yeah.
Shit, I don't even know if I should play this second clip.
Go ahead and play it.
Y'all sure?
Right.
Let's hear it.
The last clip of Canvas Samuels, courtesy of YouTube. We go ahead and wrap Mr. Samuels up. We will talk about him on the 3-part series or the last episode of the 3-part series. The both men and women will talk about Mr. Samuels because there's a lot of men that agree with what he says. But hey,
That's a lot of men
to
who
each his
love
own.
this man.
To each his
I
own.
like my
I'm not
husband.
going to say anything. I'm not going to voice
You
my
better
opinion
not say
on.
nothing.
See what shit I got to deal with. See what shit I got to deal with. But no, I didn't want to voice my opinion too much on this episode because this episode was for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I will voice my opinions on things on the very last one when we all get together. So we all have that same, to see where everybody's coming from and what, be on common ground with everything. But I'm going to go ahead and play this last clip. Mr. Kevin Samuels, courtesy of YouTube.
Hello.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can now. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Kevin.
What do you got for me?
Well, first of all, there are a few things that I do not agree with. Now, I am 45 years old.
Okay.
And you mentioned that we're talking about divas, queens, and bosses. First of all, I grew up listening to Beyoncé and Mariah Carey. That's what I consider divas. And I just think it's just a term of endearment. It's something for a woman to feel empowered.
Empowered to do what?
So,
Empowered to do
it's
what?
an empowering figure. Just at a point where they're very confident in themselves and.
Okay.
And,
What does your husband have to say about it?
Whereas my husband, I'm divorced.
All right. So, name me the white women that run around calling themselves divas.
Celine Dion.
Or name me any other race of women that call themselves these things. Divas, queens, and bosses. Tell me how Asian women empower themselves. Tell me how white women empower themselves. Tell me how Middle Eastern and Hispanic women empower themselves.
Okay, but why do we have to be like them though?
Well, I'm asking because we're humans. Okay, you asked a question and you can't overtalk me.
Oh, I'm not. I apologize. I apologize. I'm not trying to.
Well, my thing is, first off, can you turn off your YouTube channel in the background?
Yeah.
All right. It's not a problem about this empowerment, man. It's pedestalizing. That's what it's not empowerment, it's pedestalizing. Did you hear the previous caller who called herself a boss? And who she had business for 10 years, but she had no employees? What is she a boss of?
Well, I mean, again, that being a boss, you can. It's a term of running things, running your own business, and
No, that's not true. Let's look up the definition of boss. Wow. Go ahead.
It doesn't necessarily. You don't necessarily have to have employees to consider yourself.
Boss, noun, a person in charge of a worker or organization, union bosses. Or verb, giving orders or domineering manner. That sounds more like it. The verb boss makes a lot of sense, especially when black women use it, because they're certainly not in charge of workers.
Well, I'm in charge of my own schedule.
Okay. Do you have any kids? Do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
How many?
2.
Boys or girls?
Both, boy and girl, 23 and 24.
Okay, but when they were 5 or 8 years old, remember those years? They could have been in charge of making up their bed. Does that make them bosses?
Yeah, bosses of their own domain.
Are you trying to be are you really trying to be serious? Man, honestly, man, if that's how we're gonna go with it, then this conversation really is kind of pointless. If you're gonna tell me a 5 and an 8-year-old is a boss of something, then that goes into the delusion factor.
Okay. All right. Touche.
Cut that shit.
All right.
Hey, Kevin.
Fuck out
Oh
of
my
here.
God.
Okay. I'm about to tell you your name. What's your name?
Hold on. Can I just say
Thank you, baby.
that I just pulled up a list of divas that a list they have. And
Listen.
there are white divas on here.
Let me start by saying that VH1 had a series called VH1 Divas, where
Divas.
black and white
And
women,
white.
and including Gloria Estefan, a Cubana, hola, ¿cómo está? She was on there as well. So let's be very clear that the term diva is dependent on who's saying it in context, sir. Because they had a whole TV show surrounding it, men and women, all races in the audience, singing along to their songs and doing all these things, paying these women homage because of what they've done in the music industry. So,
May I
yes,
say
ma'am.
that we have Madonna is on the top of this list. Madonna, Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand.
Barbara.
Yep. Christina Aguilera, Cher, Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, Ariana Grande,
And she ain't even been out long enough to be no
and there's
diva.
Aretha
And I love her.
Franklin, Mariah Carey, and Beyonce, and Whitney Houston.
Yay, Whitney. But of course, I mean, the woman could have pulled that up. She
Right.
didn't pull it up because she's not looking to wrong him.
Mm-hmm.
She actually wants to be his friend. Okay, you hear how the fuck he was talking to her?
And she was very,
And she was like,
she
I'm
was
sorry.
cowering.
I'm sorry. Very
Yeah.
much so.
She was
So she
cowering.
wouldn't,
He was talking
she
to her
wouldn't,
very,
he was, she
very
wouldn't bring
strong.
that up and go back. She wants to be accepted.
Yeah.
She wants to be accepted. So her wanting to be accepted, she's willing to accept whatever he give her in the hopes that he'll accept her back. So all that stuff. So what if no other race calls themselves a diva? Maybe because the black woman doesn't get a chance to be built up by everybody else. Maybe we do need to put ourselves a little bit more on a pedestal so we can feel good about ourselves. So the fuck what? Why are you going to let him validate that? What the fuck? Like this, that to me, that shit is weird. I do find it funny and it's really irritating, and that's why I've never watched or listened to a full clip of it because that is foolishness. And the people who listen to it
gets worse.
are weird because
gets
I
worse.
can't sit and deal with somebody like they both sound stupid.
Yeah.
He sounds just as stupid as her. That upsets my spirit, and it doesn't settle right with me.
It's very unsettling.
I think that is weird behavior with the both of them doing, and it's not just the both of them.
It's the
It's the
followers.
viewers.
Yep.
It is the viewers, even the ones who don't like him. The ones who don't like him be the ones that can tell you everything that he do
They
front
listening
in and
too.
out.
Yeah.
Weirdness. Weird. People are so weird with this. I hate you and I'm gonna stalk you. I hate you so much. Like I don't understand this.
Yeah.
This is
I
weird.
heard
I don't even want him to be
one
out
clip.
topic because this is weird.
I heard
It's
one clip
weird
of his,
behavior.
and that was enough for me.
He
But
has
the
to
whole
be a
boss
top because it's so
mentality,
crazy.
like let's
Ignore
be
it.
very,
Yes.
like
That's
let's
why you don't
be
need to be
very
on top.
clear about the whole boss mentality. Like I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. I'm a boss. I handle my business. That's what the boss mentality is about, and it's taken more of a cultural nuance versus a Merriam-Webster dictionary defined definition. I speak 3 languages, sir, so I know very well what a boss by term and definition mean, but I also know what it means in a subculture. And in a subculture of people, black women, black men, whoever, a boss is a person that gets up every day and handles their business in spite of, period.
And that's anybody, whether they black or white.
And
A
that's
lot of
a
these-
boss,
A lot
period.
of these people run these what I consider gossip sites.
Yeah.
But people look at them for information. Technically, that's a journalist's job,
Right.
right? But you can't tell them, that they're not a journalist, and you can say, "Well, you don't work.
You don't
in
have
the
a
news,
journalism
and you don't have a,
degree."
But technically,
But they're still
doing
sharing that news.
all the things of a journalist.
That's
So-
right.
So
people pick and choose when they want to use textbook definitions.
That's right.
Most of the shit we do in life is not a textbook definition.
And that's the bottom line. He was being very condescending because as a black man, you knew what the fuck she was talking about when she was talking about divas and bosses. You wanted to go textbook because it no longer fit what you were trying to describe. And I have a personal problem with that. He went, I believe, to an HBCU, so he know. You already know he know. Sir, you know. Let me stop before I go too far.
But he knows how to get an audience, how to keep an audience. That's what he knows. He knows that.
Shock value, huh?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. He's trying to be a shock jock like, what's his name? Dude with the Howard Stern. He's trying to be like Howard Stern talked down to every single person that came on his radio. And people loved it. They loved it.
I look at it as misery.
He
I don't
loved
vibrate
it.
on that level, so
At
I'm not
all.
going to watch that because those are way below my frequency.
I saw one
so
clip,
I don't want to see that video.
and it was a wrap for me with that man because I feel like certain things, even if I felt like you weren't doing what you had to do as a person, I feel like there's a personal responsibility on me to pull you to the side and have that conversation versus to put that out there for any and everybody to hear, to go through, because sometimes you can have conversations with people and it's to the benefit of others to hear it, but other times when you really need to have if you're being condescending, don't air my shit out because
if you are taking the time out to call this man.
You deserve
whatever
he
For sure.
And when he says that you are old and you need to let it go and you overweight and you ugly, I'm gonna fucking laugh at you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show you any sympathy because I find it fucking comical.
There's no.
Because why are you calling him in the first
There's
place?
no sympathy.
And then after you hear how he speaks to other people, you think you're gonna be different?
Right.
But you know why? Because that's the vibrations that they frequent.
Exactly.
Because if my sister had never sent it to a group chat, I would have never seen him.
Same.
He has never came across my news feed.
Same.
Even still now, he's never come across my news feed. I don't even. If I would have never heard anybody talk, you know why? Because I don't vibrate at that frequency. That's bullshit.
I didn't
Not
know
fuck around with
his ass
bullshit.
came up on my damn Instagram.
You're looking at some
And I was
bullshit.
like,
That's why his ass came up on your
who is this
Instagram.
slick-head
You playing that bullshit.
That's what I see.
With them edges laid, come on.
With the
But
edges.
with the edges.
With the edges just.
Ask him, can he come on the show?
I know.
Can we wrap it up?
Yes, let's
go.
get off the Let's get off the Kevin Samuels, please.
So,
His ass is a joke to me.
So we can agree that we can agree and disagree with him? Is that what y'all?
He has some good points.
Yeah.
I'm saying
He has
that
some
last,
points?
not the
Okay.
last one, but the
The
one
first
that you played
one
first. He did
until
have some
he
points.
overstepped.
He has a platform. If they're calling, they're gonna get what he has.
Exactly.
And that's what it is.
Okay.
If you want that type of energy,
If you want it, you go get it.
Right.
He lost
so you
my
get what you
respect
asked for,
when
basically. You know what
he
you know what it is when you sign up. What's up?
He has a segment, and I'm sorry, he
Go ahead,
lost my
Shima.
respect. I do agree with him sometimes, but again, he lost my respect when he had a white woman and a Hispanic woman on telling black women how to treat their black man.
Hell no.
Ladies.
Why you ain't play that clip?
Now we gotta put the studio there. Now we gotta cut his mics.
Listen, I know y'all ladies.
All the way in the back.
I know y'all ladies. I'm gonna call y'all motherfuckers. Didn't I tell y'all motherfuckers not to goddamn attack me tonight? Okay? Why you ain't put the clip? Why you put the clip, Norman? Why you put the clip? Listen, like I said, for the next episode, we will find all the ratchet clips. We will talk about it. We're gonna also talk about the one video that there was a glitch, that there was a man in his bed. We, like I said, we gonna
A man in his bed.
Yes. Sleeping.
Shut up, Peggy. We're gonna go off.
Maybe he ain't had nowhere to sleep.
Oh, because there are no couches?
I'm optimistic about everything.
What's your final topic?
So I don't know. Do y'all want to continue to the final
You
topic?
said
It's
one more?
11:27
Yep.
right now. I don't know what y'all.
Let's knock it
Oh,
out.
time flies.
I'm sleeping
You sleepy? You want to save the last topic for the next episode?
because I guess I'm a boss. And I got things
You
to
are
do
a
too.
boss.
Don't guess. You a boss.
Knock it out.
Let's just save the last topic
I don't
for
like
the next
saying
episode.
boss. I'm an entrepreneur.
There you go.
I know that's right.
Come on.
And,
Uplifting black women.
yay!
Shout out. I need the horn for that. You know what I'm saying?
And I need some
Yeah,
edges.
Find a goddamn thing. Shout out to you, Sister Law. No, so like I said, the last topic that I had was about your ex or your exes still being friends with your family. Do y'all want to continue with that, or do y'all want to wait till the next episode? Because I know that's gonna be a lot.
We can wait just a minute.
And add on him being friends with other females too.
Yeah, but that's different.
That's different.
No, that isn't.
Wait,
no.
wait,
Wait
a minute.
Somebody.
Get a piece of this, just a little.
Wait.
That's a different subject.
You can't be talking to nobody. No.
Add more to it.
Hey, can we add on? No, I want to add on the ladder.
No.
You lost them. You understand this, right?
All right.
I can already tell. that
But she's
topic is
married,
gonna be
so she probably won't even have
another
an
hour.
opinion on the ex.
What?
Still friends with family members and
Listen.
stuff. That's a lot.
Listen, ladies, I appreciate y'all.
Sam coming around the house.
Look, excuse me, do they get invited to Thanksgiving dinner and cookout?
Yeah.
You see what the end result of that was?
At Christmas?
Do they get invited? Do they get invited to Thanksgiving and cookout?
Yeah, we're talking about that type of stuff.
With passing plates and whatnot?
Ladies.
I'm just trying to get a feeler,
Ladies.
if you will, a trailer.
Yep.
Ladies.
Including
We're
all
gonna
of
have to
that.
save that one for the next episode.
But I just
that,
had a question.
that is gonna run for another hour. I already know.
I just had a-
Because we went from one subject to the next one under that umbrella of subjects that we had.
Well, make sure
It was
you
good
add
stuff. It was good
wanted
stuff.
to say.
Y'all did a good job. Y'all did a great job. I appreciate all y'all that came out. I know there was some more ladies that were supposed to come, but they didn't make it, unfortunately. But I appreciate y'all coming out, right? So how I end this podcast every time, same main event, Shima, y'all know how I end it. So I go around the room and I ask everyone, or everyone tells me what type of music that y'all listening to right now. People that should go listen to. So Sane, I'm gonna start with you. What you bumping right now?
Hold up, man. God dang, pull out the tunes, John.
I know, you gotta let people pull out their phones first. Let me get ready.
Yes.
Shout out to the ladies once again for coming out tonight. Shout out to the ladies that gotta go to church tomorrow.
You trying to see what's in my lineup, or like what I've been listening to, like some new stuff?
Whatever you bumping to.
I want us to touch on something. Can we have a part 2 of what
We need to do this once a month.
Turn to part 3 and part 3.
Excuse me. We need to do a monthly Ponderosa.
I was raised by ministers. Trust me, church
Look, y'all let me know what y'all want to do. I can come up with
We
it.
have so much to say.
We got a lot to say.
Well, I've been bumping this new artist. His name is Tonio Hall.
All right.
Y'all need to check him out.
Tonio
Hall.
Yes.
Dude is nice. You heard him?
I got it for my
Yup,
friend.
that's what I'm
He listens
saying.
to Chris listens to everything.
Yo.
Tonio?
Tonio Hall, young dude, and he can sing his ass off.
How do we spell Tonoi?
Yup, Hall.
All right, Shima, what'd you listen to, love?
Okay, so I have, again, I just go through my playlist and I just put on the shuffle. I just added Through the Rain when I heard it today.
Oh, Tanya Blow?
Yes.
Oh, I love the song.
Hey, I do. Yeah. I have. I'm in love. Yeah.
Take the time you see when you go through the rain, through the rain.
Oh,
Go ahead. Tanya, y'all. I put her on. A black man put her on.
Yes.
You're welcome, dear.
You so silly.
I love
So I have.
I gotta take credit for everything.
Just
we gotta take credit for
Just couldn't get on the
We gotta take credit.
I do like that new Normandy. I think Normandy.
Yeah,
Normandy.
yeah, that video is
Wild
high.
Side.
Yeah,
Yes. I do like that song, and of course, I love my 90s, early 2000s music. So I'm not really into today's music. There's only a few songs or a few people that I feel like is really talented, but I'm like always on my. Oh yeah.
I see you got that Poppy PREEM and
I
SANE
do.
on that phone,
And I said
dude.
that from last time that we had our
And stores
podcast.
everywhere.
In stores,
I do
come
have
Available at all
my
Walmarts.
pocket cream and SANE.
Is that Sam Good
You
in
guys
FYE
are so
everywhere?
talented. I'm
Good.
very proud of you both.
Thank you, love. Thank you,
You know,
love.
real music.
Real
Bringing
music.
back
What
that
we
real
need.
music.
What we need. What we need.
Hashtag real music forever.
So yes. So give y'all stuff. With the horn. With the horn. Yes.
Good music.
Freemason 3 on the way.
Throwback to
Sister-in-law,
What you got, sis?
what you got jamming?
In my treatment room, I listen to a lot of jazz.
Nice.
But
Indeed.
Hold on, before you continue, shout out your business.
oh, Beauty Beyond Supply and Skin,
Where you located?
Where you located?
Lexington Park, Maryland.
Go check her out.
Yes.
Go check it out, y'all.
Get your hair and your skin
What was it?
done.
I was typing.
Beauty Beyond Supply.
Beauty Beyond Supply located in Lexington Park, Maryland. Very, very great business. Go support your small businesses. Go support
Yes.
your business. Go support them.
Indeed.
Yeah, because the baby needs some shoes.
Hey.
Now, continue with your music that you
Oh, so I really like Victoria Monet.
Okay.
Yes.
She has a song called Moment. Love that song. I love my Tevin Campbell, Alone.
Nice.
And do y'all remember Amina Butterfly?
Yes.
Okay. So she has this song called Drinks on Me. That's
Yes.
my song.
Mm.
Yes.
Facts.
But those are my songs.
Birdie.
I don't
What you
listen to
listen
them.
What you listening to?
Oh no.
You just say you listen to country.
That country,
I
girl. What's
listen
up?
to country.
That's what's up.
That's fine.
It's not
So,
for
Lock them doors
my
and turn the
playlist
lights
is-
low.
Come on now,
Shit.
right
Cut the music off.
Darius
Oh.
Rucker,
Okay.
Darius
my top
Rucker.
one.
Mhm.
Kane Brown,
Mhm.
Jason Aldean.
I like Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
You know who Thomas Rhett is?
Yes.
Yes.
I like Thomas
yeah,
Rhett.
yeah. But my favorite is Gretchen Wilson. Redneck Woman.
Redneck.
I'm a
Favorite song.
That's
all
my
time.
favorite song to karaoke.
Yes.
Yes, bro.
Just because we black don't mean we don't listen to country.
Period.
That's
Too
fucked up.
long.
We created country.
We listen
Everything.
to all
Cause
types.
I fucking listen
created
to an Alan
classical.
Jackson or a George
We
Strait
created-
song.
I can't do that
Jazz.
rap stuff. It gives me a headache.
Keep going.
What was his name? Beethoven was black.
That's
Beethoven.
right.
Like, this is our music. We all list. Everything came from
That's
us.
right.
So,
Rock and
what's his
roll, too.
name? What's the little evil devil? Elvis Presley is a
Yeah.
thief.
He stole
He's
everything.
a thief. There is no such thing as a popular or famous or culture without black.
Period.
Let's be clear
Very
about that.
clear.
That is factual. That is evidence proven. So that's our music. Whatever we say, do, speak, or say is ours.
That's right.
And that's
Pynk
just,
Diamond.
that's
Country
just
and
that
cool.
on that.
Got on.
I stay making playlists if you guys know me.
Yes.
So my latest playlist I made was "Lady I Love You."
Wait a minute, Pink Diamond. Before you keep going, shout out your business.
Well, I was gonna get to that. So I do Zumba on Wednesdays. So I'm listening to a bunch of music. I don't know what they're saying, but if the beat sounds hot, I'm doing choreography to it so we can do Zumba on Wednesdays.
And she does work you out.
And
Yeah,
then we
I wanna
also
go.
do line dancing classes on Mondays.
Okay.
It's off of
Route 4.
goodness, off of Route 4. If I can get you the exact.
How far is it from here?
It's near the Adams
No,
River.
no, we're not from here.
It's about maybe 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, it's down that way.
Oh, so
Straight damn line. Shout out to your business, yo.
thank you. So I'm constantly making playlists for vibes or whatever. So my most recent one was "Lady I Love You" by O'Brien. I don't know if y'all heard that song.
Yes, ma'am.
And then my other favorite song on the playlist is "Loving You" by the OJs.
Mm.
And I'm definitely a huge New Jack Swing person.
Oh yes.
So I have now I'm at my 4th edition of my Friday Night Vibes with New Jack Swing music. So if you ever want to turn out with Pynk Diamond, or you just think I was a DJ, I got y'all.
DJ Pynk
Follow
Diamond.
me on Spotify. I got you.
Let's go.
I used to make playlists when it was hot on recording it on tapes.
Yes.
I go way back.
I've stolen
Tell you,
several
for a
tapes.
playlist ain't her business. Let's give it up for Pink Diamond. You will burn 100 calories by that hair class.
Try 800.
I cannot keep
I'm
up
trying
with
to.
Zumba. Zumba
I
was
would love
hard.
to.
Try
I used to
800.
do
I
it.
call
Try
it
800 plus.
This was the Zumba Queen.
I
You got
loved
the little
it.
belt with the little. cardio.
You
I'm
get to
telling
lose
you.
weight fast.
I think my dad took one of your classes, right?
Yes.
Cause
Yeah.
I get back.
He had to take
The older
breaks.
women do it with no problem.
He had
The
to
older
take
women be
breaks.
in there, they be going like, damn. what
Cause
the
because they came up on jazzercise, so they were prepared.
Oh yes.
Well,
They segued from jazzercise to Zumba, so they was
I
ready.
tried Zumba twice. It's hard.
I love Zumba.
It's like party dominant.
It's love.
It's hard.
What you got going on
What you
jamming your
listening
phone?
on,
What's
man?
your tunes, cuz?
So, I can't really listen to music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, like even when I came here, so this is what I listen to. I'm such a creep.
She about to throw on some
Such a
Metallica.
Yeah, creep.
This is what I came and listened to. So like that's like
So, like,
so that's
meditation?
laundry.
Meditation?
It's laundry. It's
Laundry.
not meditation. It is. You can
It's
use
like
it as
positivity.
yeah, but it's just like a
Say
positive.
Spoken words of
uplift. Yeah,
positivity.
yeah.
I
That's
love
dope
that.
too.
I like
wrong with that?
I listen to that when I
Especially
come from
now.
work. Yes.
Yeah, so I used to listen to it at certain times and that sort of. So now I do more of listening to it like all the time.
Nice.
And I notice that I enjoy it better.
Yeah.
My day feels lighter.
You're more
I just feel
centered.
that I just like it. Like I put it on YouTube and just turn my TV all the way up and kind of just play in the house all day. My little brother stole the speaker back from me, so I put it on the TV. And but I do like. I can tell you one person that I like her a lot. I don't even know how to pronounce this lady's name. It is. I think it's. I'm so bad with names. SANE Harmon.
Why does that name sound so familiar?
She's so fucking cool.
I think I
Let
heard
me
it.
hear something.
Alright, let me play something.
Because I'm not.
I love this lady. Her voice is just so.
It's soothing.
I just love her.
But why she listen to find this song? Do you find okay?
Oh, yeah, I gotta skip this video.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, she go hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's so wonderful. That's who
Fine too though. She beautiful shit.
I listen to.
I'm sorry.
You ever heard of Elena Barrage?
I actually got her on the playlist.
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
If you love her, you would love Elena Barrage.
Cause so what I do is I just put her on. I just put her radio on. Not her radio. I just play one song,
Right.
and then I'll get a lot of those type of songs.
If you like this, then you would like this.
Yeah.
Right.
So on Pandora, I just put that song in, just let it play from there, and I can do that all day. But I love Ari Lennox.
Yes.
I love.
I was trying to get her.
Ari, I know you down here,
Sorry,
but we need to link up, baby.
I tried to get her on this episode. I emailed her manager and I did everything. I did everything in my power to get her down.
We love you, Ari. Come see us.
If you hear this ever, please hit my business email so we can get you down here, yo.
And it's a Snow. Is it Snow Allegra?
Snow Allegra
Snow
is
Allegra.
my girl.
I
It's
love
What I
her.
tell you 2 years ago?
I love her.
What I tell y'all on that post 2 years ago? I said, look out for her.
Penetrates.
You hit
She's
those.
something
You hit those then. We was on her since.
Man, I love her.
Main event.
Yo,
What you got planned?
you know, old school. I've been bumping Jasmine Sutherland lately.
Yeah.
But on my way up here, I was listening to "You're Not My Kind of Girl" by New Edition.
Ah.
I was jamming. You're not my.
That's a
I
hard
was
song to
just
take.
jamming.
Thanks, Issa.
She's like,
Be careful, Warner Bros.
I know. Yeah, everybody. Thank you so much.
True.
I don't even
All right, Peach, what you bumping to, yo?
So you know I live in like old school R&B.
You can
Like, so I have a playlist literally of just songs that I sing, like Michelle and Shanice and Tracy Spencer, those things. But then I'm Sophista Ratchet, so
Sophista Ratchet.
I like Snow Allegra, like was already mentioned. I listen to her several times a day. But then there's Cardi B and there's Meg Thee Stallion, so I'm all over the place musically. And you know, I love country music. I love classical music. I listen to meditation, so I'm all over the place when it comes to music.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
So I guess it's up. I'm the last person. Well, since this is an all women's episode, I'm just going to tell you about all the women that I've been listening to. First and foremost, Sade is on my playlist.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your Love is King, Sweet is Taboo, Cherish the Day. Even her live concert CD that she put out years ago is still on my playlist. Snow Allegra, like you said, Atlanta Barrage. Who was I listening to when I was kind of there? It wasn't a female, but I was listening to Alexander O'Neal and
yes.
Intro. That shit was crazy. I was jamming.
So Intro. They're the only like remake of a song that I felt like was better
Ribbon
than the
in the
original.
Sky.
Original Ribbon in the Sky was way better than Stevie Wonder. And Fight Me Bitches, because I said what I said.
I disagree. That's not the only group that remade the original song better. Boys and Men did Can You Stand the Rain better than New Edition.
Nah.
You crazy.
Nope.
I've
crazy.
never been a Boys and
No.
Men fan. They
You
were
crazy.
so corny.
You are lame in the
They
brain.
were corny. I'm sorry. I couldn't get with
Because-
their
I
vibe.
respect New Edition.
No.
Their
Boys and Men
technique is on
killed
point.
it.
Your
But
age
they
is
are so
showing right
corny.
now.
They
No, it's
come
not.
with
But
sex
no.
appeal and soul.
You make a song better
They're lacking
without the
something.
instrumental. And
Let's
just
be
all
clear.
acapella?
Let's be
Go
clear
ahead.
that they did not have the same passion and soul
Exactly.
in that
They were
song
missing something.
that New Edition had. There will never be a group voice like the Johnny Gill. That's just point blank and the period. You're not gonna have that whoa at the end.
Yes. Boys and Men
Period.
was very technical,
Boys
but they
to
were
Men-
lacking the
Boys
passion
to Men
and
is a
soul.
fantastic group, yes. But if you put Boys to Men Prime up against New Edition Prime, you smoking. If
They're
they
not
both
even better
singing
than
that
Joe.
song,
I just said they did that song better than New
no,
Edition.
hell no.
I think they did.
Oh, hell no. Oh.
I think they did.
And I'm going to tell you
I think they did.
no. No.
We might gotta put it to
They
a
never
to
even
a
gave you
vote
all
on,
the feel
on
goods.
Facebook.
They
Yeah,
were saying
because my
sounds
thing
good.
with music is it's a feeling.
I get a feeling from that song. That song comes from
Yeah, you get the feeling that that shit need to be
Boys and
over.
Men did it.
Yeah,
When Boys and Men
Can you
did it.
stand the rain?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
No, they
They
didn't.
No.
They out.
They still out
Absolutely
in the
not.
rain looking for an
They
umbrella.
was like-
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
that.
Well, you
That's
know
a
what?
wrap.
I'm gonna put this to a vote on
Okay, let's do
Facebook
that.
and Instagram
They
and
killed
see
that.
what people
Let's
think.
do that.
Even Belle Biv DeVoe,
Please
right?
do.
The one who was from Belle Biv DeVoe. Who was the two people in Belle Biv DeVoe? I mean, the three people.
There were 3 people, and that was a New Edition song.
But what I'm saying is they was a part of Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
People. And they put out Boys to Men. Even that guy with the shortest one.
He didn't even say.
No,
the producer that founded-
New Edition, who founded Boys to Men, said that they did an amazing job.
Michael
They did
Bivins.
sound
They did do
good.
a great
They
job,
did
but it
better.
wasn't better.
They did it better
they
than
did.
New Edition.
That is
Okay.
whack on the biggest rock of crack. Cause no, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
That's like saying Michael Jackson's a better dancer than MC Hammer.
Go to bed.
Better than MC Hammer. If you hear me, cut me out.
So she proved her point.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I just had to put that on
You
record.
did not-
If you hear me, MC
excuse
Hammer,
me.
shout me out. Thanks.
You did not help that
I want to
case.
say something that's going to be very upsetting, Piggy. So Chris Brown is a better dancer than MC Hammer.
No, he's not.
You smoking.
he is.
Never
No,
seen MC
he's
Hammer do a
absolutely
backflip.
not.
Never.
Backflip is not dancing. First
It's
of
not.
all,
MC
No.
Hammer made
Here we
hip
go.
hop hot.
backflip is
Here we
acrobatic.
go.
What the hold on?
Nope, I'm not
Chris
taking it
Brown,
back.
Chris Brown
Chris
can
Brown
dance
is
his
a
ass
better
off.
dancer
But
than
MC
MC
Hammer back then, all they did was
They danced for 3 hours
Chris Brown
straight.
is diverse.
No,
MC
Chris
Hammer.
Brown is
I get that
diverse.
though. Yes, he is. But
He will do your dance move and
I
make
didn't
it
have
even better.
anything
that nigga danced in dress shoes and big heavy ass pants. See you, baby. Take care. Good night. Drive safe.
All right, people.
Drive
this
safe.
is a wrap
She said it's
for
dark with a whole
episode
bunch of
6
damn
with
street
all
lights
the
right
ladies. The visual will be out in a couple of days, and the audio may be out a little bit earlier. I haven't made up my mind yet.
You too.
But I appreciate everybody that came out, and yeah.
That was a home run hit up.
It's a wrap.
That was so much fun, you guys.
Yeah.
Preem.